Tonight from Burleson ISD Stadium on a Friday night in Texas, it's Week 6 of high school football action as the Grapevine Mustangs hit the road to take on the Burleson Elks. This is Mustang Friday Night. And hello there, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast booth. And hello there, everybody. Welcome to Burleson, Texas. It is the Grapevine Mustangs, 0-5 on the year, taking on the Burleson Elks, who come in at 1-3. It is a lovely day here in Burleson. Clear skies above, nary a cloud in sky. Temperatures in the mid-80s as we get set for action here in Grapevine. Hello, everybody. I'm Brendan Smith, and I'm joined this week by Austin Taylor. And Austin, Grapevine coming off the toughest loss of the year last week, 25-22 loss in overtime to Mansfield Summit. The team limited the explosive plays, but boy, when those explosive plays happen, they really did hurt.
Yeah, unfortunate loss last week. You know, you love what you saw from Grapevine, fighting to the end, getting in overtime. But again, we saw Darian Nettles, 2 touchdowns of 84 yards and 59 yards, essentially be the nail in the coffin for the Mustangs. But again, what you wanted to see out of this group was fight, never giving up. It's still essentially early in the district season. You do have time to make that up, and if they can duplicate what we saw last week, it could end up for a good night for the Mustangs.
And we always seem to talk about this player, but when you go for 250-plus, you're going to get mentioned. Julian Contreras was a monster last week. Just another day where he ends up with now 735 yards, and he's had a streak of 100-yard games that goes all the way back to the beginning of the season.
Absolutely. We've seen it really all year long, like you said, from the senior. Just such a tough-nosed runner, really waits patiently behind those tackles, essentially almost every game with the counter and the power stuff. Really loving what you're seeing from Contreras there, and if he can essentially set the tone tonight early, you really do like your chances if you're a Mustang fan.
Well, the Mustangs going for their first win of the season. They're taking on the Burleson Elks at 1-3. They are 0-2 in district play. So it is Grapevine and Burleson tonight from Burleson ISD Stadium. When we return, you'll hear from Mustangs head coach Bob DeBess. He joined Reagan Ratcliffe earlier this week. That's coming up next. This is Mustangs Friday Night on Tradio.
One location, 4 amazing brands. Grubb's family of dealerships. Located on Highway 114, 25 acres of luxury car shopping. After 75 years of serving the Dallas-Fort Worth Metro, we invite you to shop Grubb's Acura, Infiniti, Polestar, and Volvo, all in Grapevine. Our service departments are fully staffed and ready to help with walk-ins or appointments. Start with the best, skip the rest at Grubb's family of dealerships.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
Welcome back to Mustang Friday Night. It is Grapevine on the road tonight against the Burleson Elks, and now visiting with Grapevine head coach Bob DeBess. And, Coach, just to look back to last week, a loss in overtime to Mansfield Summit. What a ball game. I know tough to come out on the wrong end of that one, but just looking back, overall thoughts on really a tremendous effort from your team.
Well, that is the first thought. It was a tremendous effort. Heartbreaking. The kids laid it on the line and had it. Obviously, when you go into overtime, you got a heck of a shot to win it, and to not come out with a win was really disappointing, particularly against what we thought was a pretty quality opponent. But again, to take nothing away from the effort, we saw some real positives. We tackled better. Our corners showed up, did a nice job. They were tested all night long. Offensive line showed signs of being on the same page and having the ability to control the line of scrimmage. Julian Contreras was phenomenal. 267 yards, whatever he had. That just doesn't happen. And that was a good job by the O-line, but there's a lot of that just due to his toughness and fight. Jalen Holmes, I thought, executed the offense really well. We ran quite a bit of option the other night. So there were a lot of positives. Got to still be better in special teams. We're still kind of average in special teams right now, and that's got to be something that helps us. 2 big explosive runs, disappointing. And if we're going to give up explosives defensively, we got to start getting some takeaways. We got to create some short fields for our offense, and we did minimize the explosives, but we still had them, and so we've got to counteract those. We got to balance those out with some takeaways.
They had those 2 big runs there early in the second half, but how pleased were you? It seemed like the defense really responded after that. What were the adjustments that you made, and it seemed like you were able to limit those after that?
Yeah. No adjustments made. Actually, they had run those. They scored on the same play, and they had run that same play in the first half, and we fit it up nicely. Just didn't fit it very well for whatever reason in the second half. And obviously, from a coaching standpoint, that's frustrating because you do it, you practice it, you do it in the first half, and then all of a sudden you act like you've never seen it in the second half. And so that was frustrating. But overall, we dang sure played good enough defense to win the game. You only give up 19 points 19 points in regulation. That's good enough to win the game. The hidden issue, the hidden disappointment in the game, we miss an extra point. We miss an extra point after our first touchdown, and then we're chasing that point the rest of the night. You make that extra point, and the game goes exactly the way it did. They're going for 2 to try to send it into overtime rather than, kicking an extra point. Now, flip side is we blocked 2 of their extra points. So, if a fan didn't have an appreciation for how important extra points are, Friday night was a classic example of it. So you got to play hard every play, and you got to do your job, and everything was good as far as the extra point.
Some really good things in the run game. You talk about Julian going well over 200 yards. What else can you say about him and the effort that he gives you? How big of a difference did it make Ian Hatton being back offensively for you? And then it just seemed like you really did control the line of scrimmage with your guys up front.
It was a big plus for us to have Ian back. We've missed him tremendously the first 4 games. He's arguably our best returning offensive player. So it helped a bunch to have him back, just his presence in there. Daniel Campos had a tremendous game. Daniel controlled the line of scrimmage, doing the things we asked him to do. We need to have some other guys step up. I know we're going into game 6 right here, and I keep saying it, but we need to have some other guys in the offensive line step up with the same kind of consistency that Daniel plays with. And we'll be able to control the clock and control the ball even better than what we did the other night. That has to be our plan. I know I've said it before, but it was our plan Friday night. It has to be our plan every game to try to keep their offense off the field and control the ball. Move the sticks. It's not an easy thing to do. But, it was almost perfect the other night. Unfortunately, we came up short in the overtime period.
Another thing that you mentioned, too, is the play on defense of your corners. I thought Dallas Davis made some tremendous plays there at the corner position.
He did, and he's one that, has had his share of challenges this year. And so for him to step up, Ashton Player on the other side, Carlos McKay, Brady Boozer, We did a nice job against the pass the other night. We really did do a nice job. The overtime throw and catch was a heck of a throw and a heck of a catch. And so give them credit. Dallas was right there, good coverage. They just happened to make a play. So hopefully we can continue, where we left off as far as, being aggressive in the secondary and paying attention to technique and playing with confidence.
Talking with Bob DeBest. We come back, we'll talk about Grapevine's matchup against the Burleson Elks. That's next on Mustang Friday Night.
Fall is here and we're clearing out all 2024 floor models to make room for our new 2025 collections.
It's out with the old and in with the new during Stacy's 2024 floor model sale.
Shop casual dining sets perfect for everyday family meals or formal dining rooms guaranteed to level up your holiday celebrations.
This is your chance to take home name brand furniture at unbeatable prices. Hurry in today. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Shop the 2024 floor model sale going on now. And remember, you're shopping at Stacy's.
You're shopping with family and you're not burning money.
Clock is ticking. It's last call on 24s at Classic Chevrolet. As the #1 dealer in the world, a huge selection of 24s remain with model year-end savings, like new Silverados, 14 grand off MSRP. Or 0% APR is back. Time is running out to get model year-end savings before they're sold. New Silverados, 14 grand off MSRP will not last. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Back on Mustang Friday Night is the Mustangs on the road against the Burleson Elks, and let's dig into this matchup tonight. And Coach will start for you on the offensive side. Always interesting to see how a team wants to defend an option-based team. They get an extra week to prepare for you. What do you expect? What do they like to do on the defensive side?
Well, they're a heavy pressure team. They love to bring pressure. It doesn't matter the down and distance. It doesn't matter the field position. Mix it up in the secondary between two high and single high, and that, of course, coincides with their pressures. We have a tough assignment because we're an option-based team, and any time that a team has an extra week to prepare for you, it's always a tough matchup. It's always a tough opponent. It's always tough early on because they're going to have some wrinkles that you would not have prepared for. Because of the extra time they had. In college, and in high school, it's openers, it's teams with an extra week to prepare, a bye week, and then in college, it's bowl games that make it tough on option teams. And so there'll be a feeling out period early on for us to figure out and our kids to figure out what their plan is. And because they've had an extra week, there'll be some wrinkles that we haven't prepared for. So that coupled with the pressure, that forces Jalen to have to make quicker decisions against a team that doesn't pressure as much. Blocking on the perimeter is going to be critical. We were not good blocking on the perimeter the other night against Summit, and that's an area that continues to be frustrating for us and has to improve. We just got to go do it.
Talk about teams getting an extra week in preparation for you. On the flip side, I've got to imagine it's very difficult for an opposing defensive coordinator in preparation for you, not only just the option stuff, but the number of different formations that you give teams. Looks tonight, maybe giving them some different looks of the things that you do in terms of alignment and motion?
Just like we might force them to settle down a little bit from a pressure standpoint, they force us to settle down from a look standpoint because you can't practice all the pressures they bring to all the different looks that we bring. So it's kind of a wash there, to be honest with you. I think it's probably a little bit tougher on them. I think they probably have to narrow their package a little bit more to make sure that everybody's sound for dive, quarterback, pitch. But that remains to be seen.
On the defensive side, I know the biggest get this week that you have a guy that gets back on the defensive side for you, Luke Gormley. You missed him last week. How did you feel like you played without him, and what does his presence mean tonight?
Well, our guys stepped up. I mean, like Cooper Towery had to move inside, which means you got to play, more Luke Heck probably outside to spell, Thomas Powers. And so I thought our guys stepped up nicely. You give up 19 points. Overall, we played good defense. Good to have Luke back, don't get me wrong. We love having him back. We're like was saying earlier, we're a little banged up, particularly on the defensive side. Nothing that I don't think there's anything going to keep anybody out, but we're just a little gimpy. We got a little hitch in our get along. But it was good to have Luke back, and I was proud of how the defense played.
Spread offense tonight for Burleson, a lot of one back, pretty talented young quarterback. What becomes the plan tonight to be able to put pressure on them and keep them scoring less than you do tonight?
Tackling. It comes down to tackling, and the reason it comes down to tackling because this isn't another team that will spread you out, put you in space, get the ball in playmakers' hands quickly, which forces you to react and be sound defensively from a gap integrity standpoint and a tackling standpoint. And so that's going to be the key. Containing the quarterback is going to be important because he can beat you with his arm and with his legs. They have in their attack run, QB run schemes. So they're going to put the ball in his hands and they're going to try to put him in space. He runs really well. He makes good decisions, and he kind of plays fearless. He really does. I kind of admire how he plays. So they've got some guys outside that can make you miss, and that's going to be the big key is just, tackling and keeping everything in front of us.
I expect it to be another close ball game tonight, and you saw how valuable that 1 point was last week. And how big has the emphasis been this week on special teams and shoring that up?
Well, hopefully we've emphasized special teams all year long, but we did take a step back a couple of weeks ago and just reevaluate everything we were doing as a staff, reevaluated our depth charts, talked at length at every position in every special team, on every special team to see if we had the right people there. Did some things in practice from a competitive standpoint to try to find some guys that actually want to do it, and from a physicality standpoint, that want to do it from a physicality standpoint. So we've done the same this week. And we'll see how it turns out. I think we've got some guys in the right places. I think we have shown signs of getting better, but we still need to make some difference-making plays. Blocking the extra points last week were difference-making plays. We need to have some returns. We need to have a knock loose. We need to do something to step up on special teams to give our offense a short field or create a score themselves. You see it all the time, and there's no reason we can't get it done.
Coach, thanks for the visit. Looking forward to tonight. As always, best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate you being here.
That is head coach Bob DeBess. Starting lineups kickoff between Grapevine and Burleson right around the corner here on Mustang Friday night.
Well, back here at Burleson ISD Stadium, getting set for the national anthem, as it is the 0-5 Grapevine Mustangs taking on the 1-3 Burleson Elks. It's a Grapevine team coming off a tough loss in overtime to Mansfield Summit last week. Burleson, their only win against a winless Cleburne team. We'll step aside here for the national anthem. side of the field.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of counter GT pulling to the left. Those guards just not quick enough right there. But again, Grapevine's going to take their time tonight, use that full play clock as we typically see from the Mustangs. Got your full menu available. Still in a good favorable spot, this evening to get some points early on the board here.
It's an offense for Grapevine. They average just over 15 points a game. As now to the left side, nothing doing once again. And so Burleson lines up ready to attack that option offense, and they have forced the Mustangs into a 3rd and long on their first possession after an outstanding kick return.
Yeah, great job right there by number 42, senior linebacker Charlie Waterhouse. Just really good job getting off that edge and setting the edge, initially making the tackle on that play to force the 3rd and long.
Yeah, the biggest name on that Burleson defense, Lawson Blanchard, outside linebacker, leads the team with 34 tackles. Holmes in the shotgun. 2 to the right in a wing T formation. Holmes to pass. Ball's caught towards the sideline. Fighting to get free is Ian Hatton. He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage, and it is going to be 4th down. And Burleson, after that tremendous field position, they're going to bring out the punting unit.
It's a good job right there by Burleson's front 7, staying home again. But also, good on the flip side of that for Jalen Holmes to, complete an early pass. He's 1 of 1, something maybe we can see as the game moves forward, maybe get him in a little bit of a rhythm and, never know what happens moving forward from there.
Yeah, Jalen hasn't thrown a ton this year. That was just his 57th attempt of the year, but as you talk about, his completion percentage up above 60. He's also the team's punter. There's a high snap. Does get it off. He's been an outstanding punter, and it's a spiral that kicks inside the 20. We'll see where they mark this down the sideline. It's going to be at the 17-yard line as Jalen Holmes, it's his 23rd punt of the season. He's averaging about 33 yards. He gets that one to the 17-yard line, and we will see this Burleson offense for the first time. And it is an offense led by Andrew Sparks. He's sophomore. He's a quarterback. Can also play in the secondary. They're going to run a spread offense, and it's hard to miss him. Or at least miss his back next to him and Nate Jackson in the all-pink tonight. They'll hand it off on 1st down, and nothing doing there. Might have lost a yard on 1st down.
A great job right there again by that defensive line of Grapevine. We see, number 3, Luke Gormley, doing a really good job right there off the right side, just kind of getting past that left tackle. It's just super athletic kid, just an absolute workhorse. We've really seen it all year. He's going to have a huge night tonight if Grapevine's going to want to get off the field early as planned.
When you look at the big weapons for Burleson on their side of the ball, Andrew Sparks, the quarterback, he's got a good completion percentage, really similar to Jalen Holmes, where doesn't throw a ton, but the percentage at 65%. Nate Jackson is the leading ball carrier at 265 yards. As we've got a timeout called, I believe, by Burleson. And we'll step aside as well. No score here in the first quarter, 9:01 left. This is Mustang Friday Night on Tradio. So Burleson resets, and they're going to go here on 2nd down and 11. Was telling you, Nate Jackson, their leading ball carrier. Jaden Hernandez, the leading receiver. Him and Thomas McGovern are really the two to keep an eye on. Hernandez with 245 yards and a couple of touchdowns this season. They run the spread, but have a hard time scoring. Again, a young offense and a young quarterback that's learning on the fly. Some movement up front. There is a flag. We'll see who caused it. Looked like Bradley Stanier was moving around. He's clapping his hands as if he knows it's going to be a false start.
Thought I saw the center move just a little bit. We'll see if that happens to be, and it is. Center moved a little bit, causing a false start by almost everybody except for the left tackle.
You know, Bradley Stanier there causing that havoc. The Kansas State commit, leader on this defense. leading tackler, at least up front. He's got 14 tackles. Leading tackler overall is Luke Gormley, who missed last week. Glad to have him back. He has 30 tackles on the season. So second down and 16 after the false start. Pressure coming. Stanier, they set up the screen. Jackson makes one man miss, but gets to the 15-yard line before he is knocked down. So Stanier breaks through because of the screen pass, but good containment there by this Grapevine defense. It's 3rd and long.
Stanier is just, your typical Kansas State defensive lineman, just a blue-collar guy, high motor, gets after it, fundamentally sound. Really fun to watch, and a guy that I'm sure Manhattan, Kansas is super excited about in these next couple of years.
3rd and 12. We'll see who Grapevine sends. They're sending 5. Pressure coming. Throw to the sideline. It's caught nowhere close to that first down marker, as that one's going to be marked around the 24-yard line, and so it will be a 4th down and about 4. And they're going to bring out the punting team, and Andrew Sparks was upset, and I don't think you can go for it on 4th and 4, your own 23 this early in the game.
Yeah, way too early, way too risky for that. But again, it's a key to the game that we did speak about. You want Grapevine to start forcing these 3 and outs and almost lean on them a little bit on the offensive end with Contreras and Holmes, the duo that's been seemingly doing it all year long. This is exactly what the doctor ordered right there for the Mustangs.
Punt on the way. Decent bounce here, as it's Lawson Blanchard who is the punter. And that one rolls out of bounds. So again, good field position for Burleson at the 32-yard line as they start their second drive. And yeah, we talked to Coach DeBesse a little bit about this offense last week, and he, of course, was so impressed with what Julian Contreras could do. And as we've said time and time again, just body type, but man, he really plays a lot bigger than that. And he had an outstanding game against Mansfield Summit.
Sure, and as you said earlier, if you can just get that first down with an offense like this that's going to take its time, that is exactly what they need, just to kind of lean on them a little bit.
Like to stay ahead of the chains. As here we go on 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. He's got Graham and Contreras flanking him. They hand it to Contreras. First time he's got a little bit of space. Past the 35, around the 37-yard line. So a decent gain on 1st down for the first time. One of these teams a little bit ahead of the chains here.
Yeah, exactly what you need on 1st down. If you're an offense like Grapevine, you want 5 or more essentially on those 1st downs. It's incredibly difficult, with a run-heavy team like this, to consistently pick up these 2nd and 3rd and long. So exactly what you needed to do right there, running right behind right tackle. Great play right there, great 1st down, and hopefully that we can continue this up and down the field.
Yeah, 2nd and manageable as you have that tight formation. And 2 now in motion. Hatton and Wright go in motion to the left side of the field. Holmes hands it off to Contreras. Strong run here, and he's going to get the 1st down, I believe. The official on the far side may have not given him the spot, but it does appear that they're going to move the chains. That is a 1st down for Contreras.
Yeah, great job right there again. We got one official signaling let's move him, the other saying let's measure it. They go with the one to our near side, but again, great run by Contreras right there, really just falling forward. That's something that is so redeemable about him. He always seems to fall forward that extra 2 to 3 yards. Really good trade of a good veteran running back.
And you'll see clear as day tonight that whenever he gets touched, it's never the first guy that brings him down. His yard after contact is phenomenal. 4 receivers here on 1st down. As Grapevine to pass, and here comes the rush and a sack. The ball does come out as that sack was Danya Armstrong who came flying in, and this is a team that'll really put some pressure on you.
Yeah, Armstrong just straight up the A-gap right there. We've kind of seen it from him the last couple weeks as well. Leads this Burleson Elk defense in tackles, and again, he did not miss his shot right there.
That's his first sack. There's now 31 tackles on the season, and that was on the game plan. It's a team that's going to bring heavy pressure, and Coach DeBesse says it doesn't matter the down or the distance. It's coming, and they brought the house there on 1st down. 2nd down, here they come again. Holmes is in some trouble. Being chased, he's got to get rid of it, and he's sacked for the 2nd consecutive play. This time, it's Lawson Blanchard, the team leader in tackles, who makes the play. 3rd down and long.
Unfortunate right there. You kind of had a good look with too high over there, something kind of a quick hitter on the outside. Unfortunately, couldn't get it off in time. But again, you've seen these receivers separate a little bit, which is a good sign for Grapevine. You might want to play it safe right here to kind of play the field position battle. Something that you obviously want to do is take care of the football. But again, in no hurry right here for Grapevine.
Well, they go with the too high set this time, so maybe not bringing as much pressure on third down. They are showing it, however, on the right side. Double motion again. Two backs in the backfield. Holmes hands it off to Contreras. They are going to play it safe, and Contreras fights forward to pick up about 2 or maybe 3 yards. And they picked up the first down, but 2 sacks, and they're going to have to punt.
Again, still things to build on. You do move the chains, right? You almost feel like Jalen Holmes is getting the receivers open in space, which is something that is going to be needed moving forward. But again, if this offensive line can hold up a little bit and your defense can essentially do what they've done so far to this point, I know it's only 1 drive, but get off the field and just kind of shorten up this game. You'll look up at the end of this thing and who knows where you'll be, but you'll give yourself a chance, and that's all you can ask for.
Just over 4.5. Another high snap that Holmes got to go back on. This punt is going to get out of bounds just on the Elk side of the 50-yard line. Actually, I take that back. It didn't quite get to midfield. They're going to mark that. Where are they marking this football? All the way to the 37. I guess I had a bad angle.
Yeah, I could have sworn I saw it bounce out around the 50, but I digress. Going to see if this Grapevine Mustang front 7 can hold up, really kind of put in a tough spot here.
You know, when you think about this Grapevine defense, now they're going to move the ball back.
There we go.
Now it is at the 50-yard line. Look at us.
I think the side judge was just taking a little leisurely stroll up to the 35. It's
He
okay.
did it with confidence, too,
Absolutely.
so I bought it.
Absolutely.
Well, here we go. It is first down at the 50, but last week, this Grapevine defense, they gave up 197 yards on the ground, but that's deceiving because 143 of those came on 2 plays, back-to-back plays. First down, it's the quarterback to keep it, and Sparks brought down after a minimal gain on first down.
Really good job, early into this game, but really good job of staying disciplined by the defensive ends, not really biting on the RPO stuff. Something that, Coach kind of harped on, again, in the coach's show the last couple weeks is just staying disciplined as a front 7, and it's going to be big with a spread offense. You never really know what's coming. Could throw, could pass. That's what makes an RPO so tough to defend.
Yeah, and Burleson does have some quarterback runs that are in that playbook, and so they want to get the ball in the hands of their playmaker Sparks as much as possible. Second down, he's got it. No one there to take that play-action handoff, and he's still going to gain his biggest gain in yards of the ball game. About a 6-yard gain to make it 3rd and 1. It looked like a busted play that turns out well for the Elks.
Nothing wrong with a little Casper fake gain of 8 right there. Burleson will take that all day long. Unfortunate kind of break for the Mustangs. Normally a broken play results in good things for you, but again, you force yourself in a 3rd and short, and you can bow up right here and give your offense a chance again.
So 3rd down and a yard. Sparks hands it off, and the Grapevine defense holds. Well, there is a slew of white shirts. Looks like they were led by Tatum Evans, and it's 4th down on the 42-yard line.
Penetration right there by the junior. Outstanding job to just pick your gap and go shoot your shot. And it looks like, once again, Grapevine's going to get off the field, barring a fake here. But again, great job right there by that front 7 to really push the other way.
It's Braden Brewer who will kick it away. And they're going to fake it. They're going to fake it on 4th down, and they're going to pick it up the first down. Just past the 40-yard line. As Burleson goes to their bag of tricks here in the first quarter, they move the chains.
And I kind of alluded to that a little bit. You got to watch out for this, especially between this 40 and 50-yard line. It's a great time for a fake. Great execution right there by Burleson to run what they want. You know that's a play you practice all week, and you kind of seldom look for a chance to use it, but they executed great right there and keeps the sticks moving for Burleson.
I think to your point, if you look down that sideline, there were 3 or 4 coaches that were high-fiving, fist-bumping, and that might have been the special teams unit saying, I think coach is going to remember us now. We put that play in. First down, they hand it off. It's Jackson. up the gut, his best run of the night, around the 35-yard line.
Again, something you still want to keep seeing, and you have seen it, as we end the end of the first quarter, as quick as this has gone, is, you got your guys like Evans and Stanier and those guys that are so quick on the edge. You still got to be buttoned up in the middle and kind of not as leaky as you want to be. You got to do a really good job of tightening up right there in the middle, really establishing that point of attack. 2nd
and 6 now from the 35-yard line. Jackson, along with Sparks in the backfield in the shotgun. Sparks keeps it after the play-action fake, and he is dragged down on the far side of the field. I couldn't tell who initially got his hands around the ankles, but then 3 or 4 Grapevine Mustangs there to finish the job.
Again, great job. This defense has been so disciplined so far, and you give yourself another chance right here with third and manageable, but again, 3rd and 5 is definitely doable to get off the field, especially what you want early in this ball game to give your offense a chance.
And a solid first down gain as well for Burleson, so you're kind of back even now going into 3rd down. An Elks team probably in 4-down territory on this side of the 50, really on this side of the 40-yard line. Trips left for the first time for the Elks. Now they'll send a 4th out. Jackson, the running back, is also out there on the far side of the field, on the near side of the field, and now a timeout is called, and it's Burleson who's going to use their 2nd timeout of this first quarter. So they went with a little bit of a different look offensively, but they call their 2nd timeout, and so it's been kind of as advertised. Two offenses that have struggled to put up points. You thought that maybe defenses could rue the day, and that's been the case here in the first quarter.
Yeah, I kind of checked the time, and I got 7:20 real time as we got 28 seconds left in the first quarter. This one on pace to be very quick. Again, both teams love keeping it on the ground, but both defenses actually doing a really good job of doing their job, giving their offense a chance, and Grapevine has a great opportunity to do this here on 3rd down and 5 as well.
Now, I know when you're calling a baseball game, you're never supposed to talk about how fast the game is going. I don't know if the same rule applies for football or not, but you threw that out the window anyways. You didn't care.
Absolutely. We're midway through the season in this one. I think all curses and jinxes can be thrown out the window in Burleson, Texas. So I'm going to stand on that, and we'll catch you in 2 hours.
I like it. My wife will probably like it, too, if I can get home in time. 3rd down, same formation. It's going to be a QB keeper design run and a nice move by Sparks, who basically makes the entire defense miss. It's close to the 20-yard line. It's a QB keeper as Andrew Sparks moves the chains.
Credit where credit due right there. Right guard Aiden Loiza on there. Just a simple GT counter play, quarterback keeper. It's exactly what you work on in practice. That's a high-rep play that these guys have probably been working on since the spring, and 4th and short, you got to call your bread and butter play, and Burleson did just that right there.
Yeah, they put 4 guys out wide like they do now, almost in a diamond formation, and almost started thinking that was going to be a pass, but instead they pick up the first down, and they're going to let that clock run to 0, and that is the end of the first quarter. So 22-minute first quarter, neither side scores, but right now it is Burleson who is threatening on the 22-yard line. At the second quarter, when we come back, this first quarter was brought to you by Stacy Furniture. Second quarter coming up here on Mustang Friday night on Tradio.
Floor models to make room for our new 2025 collections.
It's out with the old and in with the new during Stacy's 2024 floor model sale.
Shop casual dining sets perfect for everyday family meals or formal dining rooms guaranteed to level up your holiday celebrations.
This is your chance to take home name brand furniture at unbeatable prices. Hurry in today. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Shop the 2024 floor model sale going on now. And remember, you're shopping at Stacy's.
You're shopping with family, and you're not burning money.
Back here to start the second quarter in Burleson, Texas. No score, Burleson and Grapevine. Brendan Smith alongside Austin Taylor this evening at Burleson ISD Stadium. It is 2 teams, new district foes, looking for their first district win. Grapevine looking for their first win, period. Here in District 3-5A, there's a quick screen out to the far side of the field, and the first time that wide receiver screen is in action, and the catch was made there on the far side of the field. That was Landon Smith, the junior.
Yeah, simple tunnel screen right there, pretty much a staple of every spread offense. Probably going to see that a lot tonight if you can get some blocks on the edge if you're an Elk. On the outside tonight, you're going to be busy. It's a tough play that runs right through the Z and the X. And again, enough to get him in second and manageable. 5
receivers. It's an empty backfield for Sparks. Looking to pass. Fires over the middle. The pass was nearly intercepted at the line of scrimmage, but it's caught at the 2-yard line. And it is first and goal for the Elks.
It's a good play design right there. Fake screen right after you ran a successful one. You got man coverage one-on-one up top, just running a simple slant. It's a good play design right there by Coach Tanner and his offense.
Philip Tanner in his first year as the head coach at Burleson. Here's the snap. Nobody on the right side of the field, and into the end zone goes Sparks. Andrew Sparks gets the home crowd going, and it's 6-0, but there is a flag on the play.
There should be a flag for 12 men on the field. Number 13 for Burleson was jogging off, and that's what I think he's getting an earful from one of his coaches on the sideline for. I could be wrong here, but number 13 was clear as day on the 20. So we'll see. Coach Tanner obviously upset.
And Bob DeBess out there shouting as well, giving his 2 cents. The officials did throw the flag. And now having that conversation with Philip Tanner, and I would guess just based on Coach Tanner's demeanor that they're going to move this football back and it's not going to be a touchdown.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get called for 12 men right here, which is a break for Grapevine. You know, we'll see how they bow up right here. Again, going to be moved back a little bit. Once you get kind of inside that 10, this red area becomes a really difficult area to score as we have an extended conversation with the referees here.
A third official comes in to join the conversation. Don't forget this drive earlier. It was a 4th down and 5. Burleson faked the punt to pick up the first. They had a 3rd down that they converted as well. And now Philip Tanner to the sidelines, and they still are waiting on the announcement. Here it comes. So an illegal substitution, and subbing and not giving Grapevine the opportunity to match. So as you mentioned, a big break for the Mustangs. It was 1st and goal at the 2. Now it's 1st and goal. They move that back to, I guess, at the 7-yard line, is that, or the 8-yard line? So I guess it was actually at the 3.
That's correct. And I don't blame Coach Tanner for being upset. This is a game where touchdowns are precious, and when you have one wiped off the board, you probably do have every right to be upset, especially about a procedure penalty, especially middle of the year like we are.
Fighting for his guys, and now another whistle and a little bit more confusion. And now Philip Tanner's going to come out, and they're going to have another conversation. So this crowd was fired up. They thought they had taken the lead at 6-0. Again, it's a team that only averages, and I had to quadruple check to make sure this was right, just 9 points per game. Their only win, as we talk about, against a winless Cleburne team. They've played some tough opponents in those 3 losses, but yeah, anytime you get a play like that wiped off, it's not a guarantee you're going to get right back in.
Absolutely.
Here we go. The snap is fumbled, and now Sparks going to have to try and make something happen, and he's going to do himself a favor, or he should have, and just gone down, as there is a slew of white shirts there. Brady Boozer, Bradley Stanier, and Tatum Evans, the trio.
Now, this defensive front, again, has shown no signs of backing down or getting moved any which way. They've done their job, been on the field an extended amount of time tonight, which is not going to the game plan of either of these teams. I think both, if you ask both head coaches, hey, how long do you want your defense out there? They're probably going to tell you as little as possible, especially in a game where it might be a slugfest all the way down to the end.
2nd down and goal. They're back on the 11-yard line. 5 receivers, 4 to the left. Quick screen. That ball caught on the far side of the field. Again, that was Landon Smith, and there is another flag down, and this one might be coming back.
Looks like it might be Grapevine for a face mask. I did definitely see one grabbed. It looked like 2 were grabbed. we're just going to see who the ultimate decision maker gives it to.
So Grapevine now in the giving mood, as they're coming off their most penalized game of the season last week. They had 59 penalty yards. They're averaging about 50 per game, and that one comes at an inopportune time. So now a fresh set of downs, and you had them 2nd and goal from the 11, and now you've got 1st and goal from the 4. It's Sparks who keeps it. He's going to fight forward to about the 2-yard line. So there's that QB run scheme. So he elects to keep it instead of give it to Jackson, and it's 2nd and goal from the 2.
And something kind of you've seen tonight, neither of these teams in a crazy hurry, almost using the entire play clock. Every single play, it seems like, again, kind of huddling up and making sure what they want is right.
The MO for Grapevine has been to do that. This one is snapped, and this one is knocked away. They're going to call that a fumble? No, it's an incomplete pass.
I was going to say,
An incomplete pass. Carlos McKay was off to the races.
I was going to say, I thought that ball hit turf, and I know was batted down. A little bit of a glare where we are up here, but unfortunate right there. But great play by Grapevine. Again, now you give yourself a chance. It's 3rd down and 2, and the pressure kind of switches back to Burleson after a really good play right there from your defense.
3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. Grapevine has bent, but they have not broken yet. Tight formation here. Sparks with Jackson behind him. Bobbles the snap. There's a whistle before the play. And that is their final timeout. So Burleson has used all 3 of their. They did say that Burleson called that one, correct?
Yes, they did. That is their 3rd and final timeout, which is obviously rare with 9 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. But again, I think this goes to show you how important scoring right here is for Burleson. You know that these opportunities against a Grapevine defense might not come as much as you want this evening. He's going to dial it up and make sure his guys know exactly what they want to get these 2 yards here.
Philip Tanner, 4 years in the NFL. Spent 3 years with the Dallas Cowboys from 2011 to 2013. He played high school football in the Metroplex at Kimball, went to Middle Tennessee State. That's where he began his coaching career before eventually being the offensive coordinator for another former Dallas Cowboy here at Burleson, John Kitna. Kitna went back to Ohio to be a high school coach, and 2 years later, it is Philip Tanner, the 3rd coach in 3 years for the Burleson Elks. Well, out of the timeout, 3rd and goal from the 2. They're spread out, but that doesn't mean they're throwing the football. Here's the snap. Ball is handed off around the right side and short of the goal line. The defense holds, and they've at least got it to 4th down.
That's a great job right there by Gormley. Flying again, but we do see more laundry on the field right near that left hash mark. We're going to see what this is. I personally, to my naked eye, did not see anything. I saw a great rallying job by the Grapevine defense to stop that outside zone. It would be unfortunate if this goes against the Mustangs.
Yeah, so it would have been 4th down, but you take that penalty, push them back a 15-yarder. They'll go back now to the 17-yard line. Boy, we've had the ebbs and flows just inside the red zone here with the penalties.
Yeah, these refs, they've been taught especially to kind of hammer down on these chop blocks, especially on these outside developing plays. If you're going to do it, you better not get caught, because a 15-yarder can be crippling for anybody, much less this Burleson offense.
Well, from what would have been 4th and goal at the 2 to 3rd and goal from the 17. Pass is caught and immediately dragged down as Jaden Hernandez. He's inside the 10, but I think what that penalty does, it makes it where it's not 4-down territory, and Burleson's going to kick the field goal.
Yeah, again, great job by Grapevine. You kind of look back about 5 minutes ago, you had 2nd and 2 from the 2, and now you backed them up enough to at most get 3 points out of this, barring a fake of any sort. And don't throw it out against Burleson. We've seen one fake punt tonight. It could be in the bag here, so Grapevine needs to be disciplined right here on the edges and make sure that they stay on point to get out of this thing with hopefully 3 at most or even a miss.
Josh Davis appears to be the kicker. It's the backup punter, kicker in Cade McNeely to hold, and that one's blocked. Grapevine has done it again with the special teams. They have kept Burleson off the board. And the first big play of the night goes the way of the Mustangs. It was Cedric Hicks who got in on it.
Absolutely. Great job right there by the 5'11", 200-pound sophomore, making his name known on special teams. That's a way to get a coach's attention on one side of the ball. If you want to make an impact on your game, do something on special teams, and everybody will love you. But exactly what Grapevine needed to look up and potentially put a good drive together and do the exact same thing for Burleson. Wind this thing down and look for 6 points the other way.
After Tatum Evans last week blocked 2 extra points, including one they absolutely had to have late in the fourth quarter, they come back, and it is a superstar in the making, young Cedric Hicks, who blocks that field goal and keeps us scoreless. So 1st and 10 for for Grapevine at the 22-yard line. Holmes in the shotgun. He'll hand it to Contreras, and he's just had nowhere to go tonight.
Man, so tough sledding right there for Contreras. Again, kind of takes on 4 Elks of his own and still manages to fall forward. We've alluded to it before, but just the tough characteristics of that young man is something to truly admire up here in the booth.
His teammates love him. And what's not to love? 5 straight 100-yard games to start the season for Julian Contreras. 2 receivers out here on 2nd and 8. Burleson loves to send pressure. Play clock at 6. Here's the snap. They give it to Graham up the gut. And Graham's going to get just a handful of yards. And it should be about 3rd and 6.
Again, still manageable right here. Your full menu is available. We did see early Holmes kind of drop back to pass on a couple slant routes to really both sides of the hashes. That could be potentially in play right here. But again, you're looking for a first down to keep these chains moving as we inch closer and closer to halftime as the seconds tick off the clock here.
6:36 left in the first half. 3rd and 6 for the Mustangs. A lot of movement on the Burleson side of things. Pitching out to Contreras. He's got the edge, looking for the first down. He's up past the 35, and that'll move the chains. Strong run from Julian Contreras on a bit of a sweep to pick up the first down yardage.
Great play call right there. You know, you had an interesting alignment switch right there from Burleson from almost a 4-3 to a 4-4 stack, which means the edges are available. Really good job right there by the left tackle. I believe that is Taden Sneed for the Mustangs to really set that edge and give Contreras the yardage he needed to spring forward and move the chains.
Coach DeBess always talks about setting the line of scrimmage and then resetting it once you've kind of pushed that line back a little bit, and they're able to push there to pick up the first down. Here on first down, they go back to Julian, and he's going to get past the 40-yard line. Decent gain there on first down.
We've seen so far tonight really positive first downs for the most part from this Mustang offense, which is exactly what you need to do to keep these sticks moving. So Contreras, you know, the workhorse that he is, he's up to the challenge, and like you said earlier, rarely goes down after first contact. Just a hard-nosed runner that's going to fight for those yards, and again, another positive first down play with a gain of 5.
It was the second first down of the game for the Mustangs. Their first first down, they immediately had back-to-back sacks and had to punt. So 2nd and 5. Man in motion is Stewart. They hand it off, and nothing doing. As Julian Contreras is stuffed, it's 3rd down and 5.
It's a sophomore Lawson Blanchard again right there for the Elks. We've seen him make a bevy of plays early in this ball game. Just kind of a young, reckless sophomore, which is what you want to see from a defensive guy, a guy that's not afraid to get in there and lay the wood a little bit.
Another thing to consider, too, with how little room there's been for Julian Contreras, and another item that Coach Bob DeBess mentioned is that especially when you're an option team, when you give Burleson 2 weeks to prepare. They had the bye week last week, and so they've been able to read it a little bit better than most teams have, maybe outside of Arlington Seguin. 3rd down and 5. Holmes to pass. Steps up, throws deep, down the right side of the field, and he just overthrows his man in a foot race. It was Luke Stewart. as Holmes showed off the cannon, but a bit too much, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, really a great ball right there. Other than being just a little bit long, receiver had some separation. Really like what I saw right there from Holmes. Comfortable in the pocket, steps up and delivered a good throw. Unfortunate, it was just barely over the receiver's head. But again, something you might want to look back to as this game moves forward. These receivers can get a little bit of separation, which is a good sign for Grapevine.
Mustangs will have to punt. Do not have a drive where they have picked up 2 first downs yet. Now it's Julian Contreras for the 3rd time. He's had to handle a rough snap the first 2 times. This one's a little bit better, in fact, a lot better. And not coincidentally, it's the best punt from Jalen Holmes at the 25-yard line. And trying to get away, that is Brody Lott, and finally brought down. So a whole lot of wiggle, a whole lot of sizzle, but not a whole lot of substance. And it'll be 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line for Burleson. Coming off really a great drive that led to no points.
Yeah, again, want to speak on that special teams play by Grapevine. You got 2 guys returning right there, which, could be dangerous. You might see a little reverse as we see a little bit in high school football, but a great job right there by containing that return game right there for Grapevine, giving your defense a good spot right here on the 25.
4:17 left in the first half. We're still scoreless. Andrew Sparks in the gun. He'll hand it off to Jackson, who finds a hole around the left edge. He'll push forward for about 6 to the 31. Solid gain on 1st down.
Interesting play right there by Sparks. They kind of teach your quarterbacks ride the line a little bit. He was kind of galloping and skipping, giving it to Jackson at the last possible second. Really kind of testing the mental fortitude of these defensive ends for Grapevine.
Almost looked more like a baton toss or a baton handoff than anything else. So 2nd and 4. Jackson trying to get up over 300 yards on the season. They have not had a ton of success moving the ball, but you can see some of the pieces that are there. You got a junior in Jackson, the sophomore in Sparks. Hernandez had a catch earlier. He's the team's leading receiver. He'll be back next year as well. He's a junior. Sparks looks to the sideline. Their play clock's at 0 here. They don't have any more timeouts. I don't see a flag, though.
I think we got one right there at the 50.
There it is.
Mr. Official just kind of picked it up and dropped it down. Not the most enthusiastic flag throw we've seen.
It's your moment.
I know. Unfortunate right there. Acting skills were not up to what we want. We're
2nd down and 9 now from the 26.
Just kidding, of course. But again, delay of game right there for Burleson. Not what you want as time is dwindling down in this half for both of these offenses.
Yeah, penalties has been an issue. It's bitten Grapevine a little bit, but really it's been Burleson that has been their own worst enemy at times. So 2nd and 9 after the delay of game. Throw over the middle. Ball is caught, and that is a 1st down. It's Brady Boozer on the tackle. Landon Smith on the reception. He has been active. He has not had, at least according to the stats we have, and sometimes you got to take the stats you get with a grain of salt, but he was nowhere to be seen on the stat sheet, but he has had a couple of really nice catches, and he moves the chains there.
Yeah, great catch, great ball right there over the seam to move the sticks for the Elks.
And both these quarterbacks not throwing a ton, but when they do, they throw a good ball. There's another long fake by Sparks, and somehow still pushes forward to pick up about 5 yards.
Yeah, and if I'm Grapevine right there, if I see, any more delay, extended give right there by Sparks, I'm just attacking the quarterback at the end of the day. You got to put a hat on somebody and make him make a decision, essentially. We've seen a really good job by Stanier and these guys putting some pressure on this O-line. Really like what I'm seeing so far. And even the man that was the king of the day for a little bit right there, and Cedric Hicks even getting into the mix a little bit for the young sophomore as well.
2nd and 5 in the shotgun. Sparks has got it. Play fake. Now the rush is coming. That ball looked like it was thrown into the turf. They're going to rule it a fumble, and then Sparks tries to move it forward, and he might gain a yard. Well, I thought the hand was going forward there, but either way, it's going to be 3rd down, and either way it would probably be about the same. 3rd and 4 versus maybe 3rd and 5.
Sure, and again, if you're Grapevine, you're loving what you're seeing. I've said it a couple times tonight, but you're loving what you're getting up the middle. Stanier's moving around a little bit. You got Luke Gormley flying around per usual, and again, really putting the pressure on this Elks defense with about a minute and some change left in the half.
Defense has not given up the big play. You would love for them to make a big play, to force a turnover. They've come close a couple times. Sparks on third down. Here comes the blitz. Throw is high and through the hands of the receiver. Jaden Hernandez would have been close to the first down marker, but it goes through his grasp, and it is 4th down and 4 from the 47-yard line, and the Elks are going to punt it away, so there will be one final chance for Grapevine here to try and take the lead going into the locker room.
Coach Tanner's going to say, I trust my defense, but again, if you are Grapevine, you have 3 timeouts, you got the full menu available to run this field, and give yourself a lead going into the half, which would be huge momentum-wise for the Mustangs heading into this second half.
The second quarter brought to you by Compass Church. The minute 15 left. Snap, and the punt is on the way, and it's a line drive kick, and they're going to get a great roll. Inside the 10-yard line. As that there on the punt, Braden Bruder. And that may take away any idea of Grapevine of trying to force anything down the field.
Well, you know it was there. Again, like we saw earlier, that incomplete pass on that third down, just a little bit overthrown. But again, I do like Holmes' ball through the air. It was a good tight spiral. And again, did a really good job of stepping up in the pocket. When protection is there, I do believe he can make those throws. But again, what is the risk versus reward? You know, they say the old adage, 2 out of 3 things on a pass play is bad for the offense. You want to take care of the ball right here. The worst thing that could happen would be a turnover leading to an easy 6 for the Elks.
So 106 left here in the first half. Final possession for Grapevine. Might have gotten away with a false start. They hand it off to Graham, who finds a little bit of space, gets through the second level, and then nearly busted it for more. He's down around the 20-yard line. He's close to a first down. Well, I thought Graham was down a couple of times. He just kept fighting.
They're going to spot the ball just shy of the 20-yard line. Looks like they're going to spot it on the left hash on the 18.
The knee was down before that ball got closer to the 20-yard line. But either way, a solid run there. It's 2nd and 1. And there's really no urgency here from Grapevine. 30 seconds left in the first half. They're going to be content to either try and maybe break a big play, or if not, take it to the locker room at 0-0. Contreras is met by 9 different Burleson Elks, and that'll most likely be the final play of the first half. Offense looking towards the sideline for one final play, and timeout was called. No, the clock stopped momentarily. Now it's running again, and yeah, Burleson and Grapevine are going to go to the locker room at 0-0. So a close ball game. It's the second consecutive game where at least one team has been shut out in the first half. It was 6-0 Grapevine last week. Here we're scoreless after the first 2 quarters of play. We'll step aside here for the half. When we come back, we'll run through the first half stats and then get you ready for the second half. Compass Church brought you this second quarter, and we get set for halftime. That's coming up next here on Mustang Friday night on Tradio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome you to halftime, Mustang style. For your halftime entertainment, Grapevine High School is proud to present the award-winning fabulous Philly Officers. The Philly Officers from left to right are Junior Lieutenant Yvonne Mpimba, Senior Lieutenant Reagan Callahan, Captain Ava Shondow, First Lieutenant Claire Stacy, Senior Lieutenant Hannah Marchbanks, and Junior Lieutenant Amelia Crowder.
I ain't doing nothing.
Philly social officers are President Ainsley Alexander, Vice President Rosie Toohey, Historian Caroline Loomis, and Co-Chancellors Callie Rainwater and Dory Clark Miller. This week's staff recognition is Mr. Tradio. Thank you for all you do for the Phillies and Grapevine High School. This week's spirit girl is Caroline Loomis. Rookie is Haley Lanigan. And our Philly other girl is Callie Rainwater. The Phillies will be performing a field tribute to Blinding Lights. Let's have Grapevine High School fabulous Phillies team. The Phillies wish to extend a special thank you to our sponsors: Ambition Dance Studio Productions, Artistry and Motion Performing Arts Center, Harlan House of Dance, SPC Construction and Roofing, Sewell Cadillac of Grapevine, Terry Custis, Vaquero Roofing, First Choice Stadium Storage, Costa Vida, and Import Car Center. Go Grapevine! And now, ladies and gentlemen, Grapevine High School is proud to present the 2024 edition of the award-winning Grapevine Mustang Band. This evening, the Mustang Band will present their show entitled Cottywomple. Now under the field direction of young majors Nate Kaya, Elizabeth Marling, and Maya Abed, the Mustang Band.
To travel purposefully towards unexpected cattywampus, skew, awry, obtuse, kitty cobra, disarray, not directly across from something.
Mustang Band is under the direction of James Reese, Ryan Andre, and Brandon Slate. The percussion is directed by Caleb Hines and Katie Joe. Color guard is directed by Ryan Bender. Principal of Grapevine High School is Dr. Alex Fingers. Director of Fine Arts for Grapevine College ISD is Dr. Paul Sykes. The Mustang Band would like to extend a special thank you to our corporate sponsors, Ackerman Law Firm, Almar Jewelers, Feed Store Barbecue, Notice to Go, Stellar Smiles Ortho, and Taco Casa. Thanks to all our sponsors, community, and administration for your continued support. And as always, go Mustangs!
Welcome into this week's Tradio Power Packs, High School Football Edition. I'm Will Connerly. It's been a great fall so far in the Tradio production universe with Colleyville Heritage, the school that I've been fortunate enough to cover so far with the play-by-play, South Lake Carroll, Grapevine, and Marcus. With all of these schools, we're going to take a look at how all of them have done so far. The four schools in the high school football landscape for the Tradio production universe. And first, let's get a glance at how South Lake Carroll's played this year. Carly Isbell with the update.
Thanks, Will. The Dragons are off to a 5-0 start and have a high-powered offense. They've scored 44 or more in 4 of their 5 games. Carroll started the season with a 24-point win over Midland and then stomped Hebron, scoring a season-best 59 points. The Dragons started district play with a victory at home over Byron Nelson and then a shootout on the road against Trinity. Over on the Dragons Sports Network, Riley Wormley, the USC commit, has created many highlights this season.
Takes the snap, hands off to Wormley on first down, stiff arms the defender across the 30, still on his feet along the sideline, he stays in bounds.
And number 1 led the Dragons' high-powered offense in this one. He posted a 75-yard touchdown, made plays in the receiving game, and led the Dragons to a thrilling 56-48 win. Wormley finished with 181 yards and 3 touchdowns in a game that renewed an old rivalry between 2 historically great programs. Next, the Dragons cruised past Keller Timber Creek in a battle of undefeated teams. Angelo Randa connected with his top target, the TCU commit, Brock Boyd, for 2 first-quarter touchdowns to put the game away early.
Randa, play fake, will throw over the top, looking for Boyd. It is caught at the 10-yard line, and he's into the end zone for the second time tonight.
Boyd finished 213 receiving yards. It was no surprise that 4-star running back Riley Wormley was spectacular again with 3 touchdowns in their 44-7 route, but was carted off with a leg injury in the second half. If Wormley misses time, 4-star Baylor pledge Davis Penn could become the featured back for the Dragons.
Give it to Penn, puts his head down, and gets in for the touchdown. Davis Penn, touchdown number 4 on the season.
After running for nearly 1,600 yards and scoring 30 touchdowns for Carroll State's semifinalists team last season. The Dragons have plenty of weapons on offense with 48 points per game, and Riley Dodge's team is looking strong. You can catch all the South Lake Carroll action the rest of the year over on the Dragon Sports Network.
Thanks so much, Carly. Now, let's look at how Jerry Edwards' squad in his second season with Colleyville Heritage has done so far. The Panthers sit at 3-2. As we go back to week 1, it was a thrilling victory over Red Oak, and they needed a late field goal from Ryan Zucker.
Field goal of the night. Snap is down, kick is up, end over end, and it is through.
41 yards and right on the money for Ryan. Zuckert had 2 fourth-quarter field goals, and that helped Colleyville Heritage overcome a double-digit second-half deficit, and a 13-point fourth quarter helped them secure the win. Star wideout Braden Blewett, the Northwestern commit, was a standout in this game for sure. 200-plus receiving yards. He had more receiving yards than Red Oak's 3 Division I wide receivers combined in the ballgame. The following week, Colleyville lost to Richland despite a 23-point fourth quarter. Then a defensive outburst for them against the Colony. It was huge for Colleyville Heritage. 8 sacks, 12 tackles for loss, and 4 interceptions in the district opening win. And they carried that strong defense into Mustang Panther after returning home for their district home opener against Mansfield Timberview. And they pitch a shutout. They win 10-0 in the ballgame. Gerard Wiley was the leader for the team on the ground, as he's really been starting to pick it up with his rushing attack. Then that set the stage for a big district battle between Argyle and Colleyville Heritage, a battle from a season ago in a big playoff rematch where Colleyville Heritage was able to win and go to the regional final. In this matchup that everybody circled, Argyle threw the first punch. They went up 21-0, but Colleyville fought back. They made it a 1-point game with a Gerard Wiley rushing touchdown to start the second half. Colleyville would then go down by 3 scores again, but they fought back once again, showing resilience with some big second halves this season. That's going to bode well for them moving forward. They recover multiple onside kicks and score. They weren't able to do it a third time, and they end up falling by 1 possession. The Panthers off this week with the bye, but make sure to check out Panther Friday night on Tradio the rest of the way as they compete for one of the coveted playoff spots in 3-5A D2. The Marauders are off to a 3-1 start. This season, they've looked solid. They opened the year with an exciting 4-point win over Keller. Rhett Garza had a 3-yard touchdown. And into the end zone for the touchdown.
There you go. We sit.
Rhett Garza. With 5:36 to go in the game, that gave the Marauders the victory. Marcus then put 88 points on the board in a 2-week span with big wins over Arlington and J.J. Pierce at Arlington. They scored 47 points. They had a 20-point third quarter and 5 touchdown passes from their quarterback, Colton Nussmeier. Marcus then used a 17-point second half. They really ran the ball in this ballgame, nearly 230 rushing yards combined between their 2 backs, and they would win 31-20 over J.J. Pierce. That moved them to 3-0. Then the Marauders enjoyed a bye week that allowed them to gear up for a big battle against Louisville in the Battle of the Axe, and big history and tradition in that ball game. And it was a matchup that had a lot of hype going in, and well, it lived up to it. An overtime affair that has happened to be so far Tradio's most viewed broadcast of the season. Marcus outscored Louisville 18-0 in the third quarter, helped them overcome a 14-3 halftime deficit. Rhett Garza, he was the leading target with 6 catches for 66 yards. But Louisville ends up winning the ball game after the Marauders were stopped on downs in the opening period of overtime. Sophomore quarterback Colton Nussmeier has been a standout for Marcus this season. The offense has a balanced attack. 7 starters do return on that side of the ball. It's going to be fun to watch in 5-6A for this team. Mike Alexander's got this group at 3-1 for a Marauder squad that finished 4-7 a year ago. So on track to make improvements, and be sure to stay tuned to Marcus Football to catch all of that for Marcus Football Night on Tradio. The Mustangs, they're looking for a strong finish to the year after falling in a few nail-biters during the first half of the season. Grapevine, they came within 4 points on a 3-yard rushing touchdown.
On the ground, Holmes with the toss. It was behind Sanchez, but he hauled it in and scampers in.
That's as close as they would get after having a final chance for a go-ahead score. Grapevine's Julian Contreras, he ended up posting a game-high 132 yards rushing. In week 2,
Going to go deep, taking a shot. Got a man down there. That's Stewart.
Their 17-point first half was not enough in the 42-24 loss against Birdville. Julian Contreras, he's the man to highlight once again. Nearly 170 total yards through the ground in the receiving game for the Mustangs. To start district play, Grapevine put 17 points on the board after being held to 0 in the first quarter, but they were unable to top Everman in that matchup. Julian Contreras scored with 3:29 left in the fourth to make it a 29-17 game, but that ended up being the final score. The final totals for Contreras, 109 yards on 17 carries. And moving into a new, tougher district this season in 3-5A D2, the Mustangs then traveled to Seguin. They got the better of Grapevine in the first meeting ever between the two schools. Then Grapevine played in another thrilling overtime affair against Mansfield Summit.
And Jake ran to daylight. Mustangs are on the board first tonight. A very light wind. He has got plenty of leg, and he knocks it through. Cade Moreland has made this a 19-13 ball game.
And then blocked the Jaguars' game-winning attempt to force overtime, but ended up falling short despite another great effort from Julian Contreras.
Snaps it with 5 on the clock. There's the give to Contreras and a huge hole. Contreras spins out of the tackle. Contreras across midfield.
The running back had 270 yards on 28 attempts and a touchdown. Be sure to check out Grapevine Mustang Friday night on Tradio. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to Tradio. It's the best high school production in the nation. And that's your recap so far, about midway through the year for Southlake Carroll, Colleyville, Heritage, Marcus, and Grapevine in the Tradio production universe. There you have it, the plays that mattered in the Tradio universe. Don't forget to like the show and click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to sign up for notifications so you can be the first to watch new releases of Tradio Power Packs. Hey, let's look at next week's schedule. Well, that'll do it. There's just one more action item for you. Head to the Tradio community posts on YouTube and vote for your favorite clip of the week. I'm Will Connerly. Triple the power, triple the fun, triple the clips on Tradio.
Let's get it.
Back here in Burleson, Texas, halftime continuing, scoreless ball game, and Brendan Smith and Austin Taylor with you here in the broadcast booth as the Burleson band finishes up their halftime performance. But boy, a defensive struggle, I guess you could call it there in the first half. Nothing here for either one of these offenses really to get going there in the first 24 minutes.
Yeah, really a good job by both defenses, especially by the Grapevine defense. You know, we saw a drive early in the game where you saw 2nd and 2 from the 2-yard line from Burleson, and a great job. A little bit of penalties aiding in that effort, but really a good job to bend and not break right there by the Grapevine defense. And again, you've seen it consistently all night long from Burleson. You know, maybe a little leaky on your early downs, but at the end of the day, getting the job done to give each team their offense a chance to get on the board first. And who knows, maybe the first score could be the last, and really that might be all you need once this thing is all said and done.
Some great numbers here from the first half. Our statistician Mason Mears is with us this week as well. And so the numbers aren't great offensively. Burleson finishes with 93 yards of total offense. They're led by Andrew Sparks, who completes 7 of 9 in the first half for 55 yards. Also rushes for 27 yards on 8 attempts. So the majority of that offense coming from the quarterback in Andrew Sparks. For Grapevine, they only get 27 yards of total offense, 24 of those coming from Julian Contreras, who that stretch of what is now 5 consecutive games where he's gotten 100 yards to begin the season. That is in danger here after the first half of play. Burleson 1 for 8 on third down. Grapevine 1 for 4. Burleson did have a fourth down conversion on a fake punt. In fact, that was the longest drive of the first half, and by a mile. In fact, the only drive that was over 6 plays was that Burleson drive where they got inside the 5, ended up having a field goal block. They ran about 4 or 5 plays actually inside the 10-yard line. It was a 15-play drive. Everything else had been 6 plays or left. So, or 6 plays or less. So Jalen Holmes hasn't had a ton offensively. Did complete 7 of 9 there, or excuse me, did not. I was actually looking at Andrew Sparks' numbers. Holmes didn't really get going a ton at all, but trying to read that defense. And as we talked about, you have that much time to prepare for an option defense, and it does look like Burleson is got a pretty good grasp on what Grapevine's trying to do.
Yeah, you've seen it really, all night, especially off those edges, really for both teams, but especially Burleson. We've seen, a couple playmakers, especially the defensive ends, really kind of getting in the backfield. And a team that's, more run than pass, almost 90% to 10%, you can kind of pin your ears back and make it easy on your defensive coordinator to really just call the heaters, right? You need to do the best you can to kind of blitz Contreras. As soon as he gets the ball, they've done a really good job of really gang tackling and flying to the football, which, again, is something Coach Tanner has alluded to all season. It's something they needed to sew up, and they've done it so far this evening.
And so 2 teams ready to get back onto the field. Halftime wrapped up. We are scoreless. Burleson will receive the opening kickoff of the second half. We will be back with second half action on Mustang Friday night here in Burleson on Tradio. Well, back in Burleson, Texas at Burleson ISD Stadium, and we are scoreless going into the second half. Grapevine looking for their first win of the season. Burleson, they've lost back-to-back games. They're looking for their first win in district play. As we mentioned, Burleson will get the ball to start the second half. And really, as we just talked about, not a whole lot of offense to speak of. The best drive of the game came from Burleson. A couple of first downs there for Grapevine, but did not have a drive where they had 2 first downs. So really hard to maintain anything as both of these defenses able to stay home. And we'll see what Coach Bob DeBest has up his sleeve for the second half, what Philip Tanner has as well. It looks like Nate Jackson's going to go back to receive this opening kickoff in the second half.
And again, we've kind of spoken to it all night. We'll see kind of who takes that first shot, right? We haven't seen it yet from Burleson. They haven't taken a shot downfield, even though they do, like you have said previously, they do run out of a spread, so they do have options available. It's just picking and choosing when Coach Tanner wants to take that shot.
Well, Grapevine ready to go. It's a competitive first half. No offense to speak of. Burleson ready here in the second half. And this one's received right around the 11-yard line. And now a little bit of trickery as they hand the ball in the end around. There's a ton of space to go. That's Landon Smith. He will be caught and dragged down. A touchdown-saving tackle. That's made by Cade Moreland, but a spark to begin the second half. There is a Burleson Elk player down on the far side of the field.
Yeah, starburst return right there. Really good execution by Burleson. You could almost see it developing up here. You didn't really know who had the ball. These black jerseys make it so difficult to see who actually has the football, but so entertaining and fun to watch. We don't normally see that, especially at the high school level, but when it does happen and when it hits, that is a huge spark for an offense that's been struggling to move the football tonight.
It is Avis Landrum who hobbles off the field. He appears to be fine. And you had several different options back there, and I think, like my eyes, I was wondering if it was going to be Nate Jackson who got the football, one of their big playmakers, but instead it's been Landon Smith. He had some of the offense there, 3 catches for 25 yards. Let's go down to the field. So I heard it was a sideline interference.
With contact, which is, man, not what you want. If you're Burleson, you got to have a get-back guy down there somewhere telling those guys, I get it. It's a lot of intensity, a lot of emotion during a play like that, but these 15 yards, especially for an offense that's been struggling to move the ball, could pose critical.
And so they put that one, it had been at the 30-yard line. Instead, going to push it back to the 45. So still, as you mentioned, still good field position, but, well, you had spectacular field position. Now you've got to start around midfield.
Again, these dark football, dark jerseys, great time to do a starburst. Really well executed fake right there. Again, one of the more exciting kick returns we've seen so far this season.
First down, play action, Sparks around the left side. He is met and dragged down by that Grapevine defense. It might have been Bradley Stanier who popped out there to force the tackle. Either way, it'll be a second down and about 10 or so.
Yeah, Stanier and Powers, Thomas Powers hopping out of that huddle right there, excited about that. A good negative first down play right there to keep it at 2nd and 10.
Well, at the 46-yard line for second down. There's that formation with 4 receivers to the right. They go the screen to Smith. He's got blocking, and he's going to get past the 35, just short of the 40. He is dragged down. Bradley Stanier there, who had to come from the opposite side of the field to make that tackle. So a lot of movement there, not a whole lot of yards, though, third down.
You can kind of see early Coach Tanner wants to spread this Mustang defense out. He's got quads right when they go tunnel look right there. He's got a single high receiver up top, and we did see earlier almost a fake screen down to this near side, which opens up a one-on-one slant up top. So that could still be in play as we see. Really doubles both ways here.
2 over the top defensively for Grapevine. Sparks to pass. Towards the sideline. Pass is caught right around the marker. It depends on the spot.
I think he's going to be just short.
No, they're going to give him the first. I was with you, but they're giving him the first down as Grapevine nearly forced the 4th down, but instead Burleson moves the chains and a fresh pair of downs.
The Grapevine coaches of the left a little upset at that. I don't blame them. Thought that was clearly a yard short, but
well, 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line. Still not where they would have started had they not had that penalty on the return. They handed off Nate Jackson, a little bit of a hole, spin move up to the 30-yard line. So 2nd down and about 4 after a 6-yard gain on first by the junior tailback.
Pretty balanced attack so far from Burleson. Couple pass, couple runs. Really just trying to, like I said earlier, really make this defense go horizontal instead of north-south. Really make these linebackers cover some ground, something that they've had to do a really good job of tonight. But again, as we see as Burleson goes to the huddle, really not in a hurry at all, getting their play and lining up to what they want to do.
3 receivers. It's Jaden Hernandez, the team leading receiver in the slot. Sparks fakes the handoff and then follows his back, and Bradley Stanier is there and drags him down. Cedric Hicks got there as well, as it's Stanier who got there initially to push it back and give a long 3rd down and 9.
Hey, you're not fooling Stanier tonight on those quarterback keepers. He's got one job, and that's to go after Andrew Sparks as fast as he can. He's doing a really good job of just getting around that left tackle all night long and filling up the stat sheet for the K-State commit.
So 3rd down, sort of a similar drive to that 15-play drive in the first half for the Elks. That ended on a blocked field goal. Biggest difference, they're not about 30 yards further down the field. 3rd and 9, back to pass. Blitz coming. Pass is in and out of the hands, I believe, of Nate Jackson. Either way, they're going to say it's a catch, and he's down at the 40.
Probably ends up working better for Grapevine. I think it's going to be a loss of a couple right there as it brings up a fourth and long here. And almost disaster, and almost a great play for Grapevine was almost feet away from being intercepted right there, which would have been exactly what the Mustangs needed propelling into this 3rd quarter.
Well, it looks like Burleson's going to keep the offense on the field. They're in no man's land here at the 37. So they're going to try and pick up a 1st down on 4th and 11. It's 4 receivers, 2 on each side here for Sparks. Has a pocket, fires over the middle, nearly intercepted. But it doesn't matter because it's a turnover on downs. It was Brady Boozer who stepped in front of it. And the Grapevine defense holds, and they force a turnover on downs to start this 2nd half.
A great job right there again by the Grapevine defense, doing more of what they've been doing all night long, and now you have a great field position to spark your offense to getting some points on the board. And as we inch closer and closer to the end of this game, any points at this point would be huge for either team. The Grapevine, what you want to do right here is get that first down, keep those chains moving, and play penalty-free football, these self-inflicted wounds. If you can limit those, you got a chance here.
And Grapevine done a pretty good job of limiting. They had the 1 personal foul in the 1st half. That's their only penalty. It was actually only a 5-yard penalty because of where it happened on the field. 1st down. Holmes on the pitch, nearly threw it behind. I believe that's Brady Boozer. Or excuse me, no, I saw the complete wrong. No, you've add 8 and 1. It's 9, and that's Brady Boozer. But no, that's Luke Stewart who gets the pitch.
Good play design right there. Short side of the field. Trying to get your numbers exactly where you want them. You got guys on the line to do it. But again, a really good job right there by Burleson sniffing that out. Sometimes you got to just tip your cap.
2nd down and 9. Stewart, the lone back on the near side, or rather the lone receiver on the near side of the field. Contreras to the left of Jalen Holmes. He'll hand it to Contreras, and he breaks through the right side, close to a 1st down, lowers his head, and a big boom. Helmet lost there by Will Mason, the center, but a solid run there on 2nd down by Contreras to make it 3rd and short.
A great patient run right there, just following his blocks, letting those boys get to the 2nd level before he makes his cut. And again, a solid gain right there to give yourself 3rd and short.
Officially 3rd and 1. Contreras only had 24 yards on 10 attempts in that 1st half. That big Grapevine offensive line averaging 270 pounds, trying to push forward for a yard. Holmes in the shotgun. He will give it to Contreras around the right side. A 1st down. Pushes into enemy territory on the right side of the 50-yard line, and the sticks are moving.
Essentially the same play right there, just short, quick to receive the hand up. Excuse myself there, but following the right side of the line right there just for the 1st down. It wasn't a play designed to get a whole bunch of yards, but you only needed 1, and you did your job there.
Let the big guys up front push. And they do get it at the 49-yard line. So really a similar feel here to what we saw in the first 2 quarters. We're almost halfway through this 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 around midfield. 2 receivers out to the left side for Jalen Holmes. In motion is Hatton. Holmes to throw, fires, and it is in and out of the hands of Hatton. He had a lot of space around the 40, but he drops it right above his helmet. Jalen Holmes threw a good ball, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, he's going to want to have that one back. That was a great play design right there, and an easy pitch and catch for a 1st down. But again, you got to have a short memory if you're a wide receiver. Drops happen. You don't want them to, but unfortunately it's part of the game sometime. But keep that chin up and go run another good route and get ready to make another play, because I think the ball is going to find you sooner rather than later in this game.
Yeah, Hatton just in his 2nd game of the season, came back last week. They are thrilled to have him back as part of this offense. Was 2nd team All-District last year. So 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. 2 backs in the backfield. Option, and it's not going to happen as the whistle before the ball is snapped. And it'll be a delay of game. So we just talked about penalties, and there's the second penalty of the game for Grapevine on the delay.
Yeah, not what you want right there. Again, just kind of putting yourself behind the sticks, but again, nothing to panic about, nothing to worry about. You got your full menu available, and 2nd and 15 is still manageable with a solid play right here to just kind of half the sticks a little bit.
As we've talked about several times, there has not been a 2 first-down drive yet for the Mustangs. Holmes waiting for Mason to snap the football. Play clock at 10, now the snap comes back. Rush comes, pitch and catch made by Ian Hatton. Gain of about 2, and it'll be 3rd down and 13.
Seen it really all night long. Burleson doing a really good job of rally tackling to the football. Very seldom you see just one Elk making the solo tackle. It's really just been a gang of Elks, I guess, if you will, making the tackles. Not sure the plural of Elk. There's your trivia of the night.
It's definitely Elks.
Okay.
Yeah, gang of Elks. I don't know.
Group.
Herd, maybe?
There we go.
Herd of Elks. Either way, if they're all coming at you, you're in some trouble. 3rd and 13 at the 48-yard line. Grapevine and Burleson scoreless here in the 3rd quarter. Holmes to pass, fires, and it is Hatton who has that ball go in and out of his hands. Now, he was hit as that ball was going to his hands. Would have been well short of the 1st down, and it'll be punt time here for the Mustangs.
Yeah, good play right there by the Burleson defensive back. Was kind of right as the ball hit the receiver's hands, was there ready to pop him, and did a really good job here. Now again, as Burleson lines up for the punt return with 2 backs right here, they've shown the trickeration once. Do they do it again on a return right here to get themselves some extra yardage?
Holmes to punt. It's his 4th punt of the day. Snap sends him back a little bit, and he puts off a decent kick that's going to be caught and a fair catch at the 23-yard line. As that fair catch was made by Jaden Flournoy, and the second possession here for Burleson will commence. And really, Austin, penalties have been huge for Burleson. They had the 15-yarder on the kickoff return that really changed what could have been a great possession, but 5 penalties, 45 yards through the first 2 quarters and some.
Yeah, exactly what you don't want, essentially, right there. But again, you still have, what you want offensively. You've lined up in this spread look. You have moved the ball downfield, seldom at times. But again, as we see a little multiple look right here, almost a single back formation as Burleson gets lined up ready to go.
3 trips tight to the right side, now a man in motion. Sparks will keep it, gets around the edge, now cuts it upfield, and he has a seam to the 40-yard line in a foot race. He is being chased down by Luke Gormley. He escapes. It was actually Brady Boozer, and Sparks has got it inside the 15-yard line.
You've seen that little quarterback keeper all night long. He just kind of rides it out as long as possible. Was really patient on that run right there with Sparks just kind of in between the tackles. And once he got to that second level, it was a cloud of dust. Great job by Grapevine not giving up on the play. Again, you've bowed up in this red zone before. You're going to have to tighten up the bootstraps a little bit right now to do it again.
A 64-yard run on 1st down. Now 1st and 10 run gets you inside the 10, close to the 5-yard line on a run straight up the gut. So 2nd down and 3, and yeah, it's the 2nd time that Burleson has been inside the 10. They got it to the 2-yard line, their 2nd possession of the game. Eventually had to kick a field goal from the 11, and it was blocked. So 2nd and 2 at the 6. Sparks on the draw, up the gut. He is met by Bradley Stanier with a suplex and sends him back a couple of yards. 3rd down, and boy, is that Sparks that's still down?
Yeah, that was violent. That was absolutely a violent tackle right there by the future K-State commit. I mean, just a physical, high-motor football player. I mean, a coach's dream right there. Never seems to get tired. They continue to run to his side, and he's there to make a play almost every single time. Just a phenomenal night so far for number 43.
Inside the 10, they can still pick up the 1st down. It's 3rd and 3 from the 7. Here's that familiar set, 4 receivers out to the right. Mustangs showing blitz. Here they come on the slant. Pass is incomplete. It is 4th down and 3 from the 7-yard line. And they're going to attempt the field goal. And they will send out Ethan Burtham to try it.
Well,
about 25 yards.
Well, we know what happened last time. We got a big special teams play by Grapevine right there. We saw the young sophomore nose guard Cedric Hicks was in on the first field goal block. Does he have it in him to get himself another one this evening?
Officially a 24-yarder. Snaps high. Hold is down. Kick is on the way, and it is good. And the scoreless tie has been broken, as the 24-yard field goal from Ethan Bertram has made it 3-0 Elks. Classic Chevrolet brings you this 3rd quarter. This is Mustang Friday Night on Tradio.
The clock is ticking. It's last call on 24s at Classic Chevrolet. As the #1 dealer in the world, a huge selection of 24s remain with model year-end savings, like new Silverados, 14 grand off MSRP. Or 0% APR is back. Time is running out to get model year-end savings before they're sold. New Silverados, 14 grand off MSRP will not last. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
That is 3-0 Burleson as we start. 3:30 left here in the 3rd quarter. Oh boy, another big play there given up by Grapevine that sets up that touchdown, or that field goal.
Yeah, Andrew Sparks right there, just a really good job on a delayed quarterback keeper. He did a really good job of following his blocks, being patient, and again, just that explosive play has kind of been the Achilles heel for Grapevine so far.
Short kick, ball was fumbled initially, and now nearly breaking free is Luke Stewart. And Burleson, lucky that they didn't just give that lead right back, as Grapevine takes over at the 45-yard line. Field position hasn't been the problem. They've had good field position, it seems like, every time they've taken over.
Yeah, this hidden yardage, what a lot of coaches say is something that doesn't show up in the box score. Field position, starting field position, just does not do that. But again, it usually looms so large in these tight games as the second half sort of winds down. You just kind of look up at yourself, and you are in good field position. Now you have to capitalize.
So 1st and 10. Grapevine plays from behind for the first time. And before the snap, there's a flag, and it looks like a false start here. And that's going to move Grapevine back 5 more yards.
Again, you got to stay disciplined as the 3rd quarter winds down here. Both teams tired. Bodies are feeling it a little bit. It's been a slugfest within these two lines. This Grapevine offensive line going toe-to-toe with this front 7 of Burleson. Both these teams giving it everything they have. It's been super physical to this point. Really, neither team letting the other team gain any significant ground, as we've seen a slugfest defensively so far.
Only points on the 24-yard field goal from Ethan Bertram. 1st and 15 after the delay of game. Play clock under 10. Holmes hands it off to Contreras. He's got nowhere to go. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 15 from the 40-yard line. As they have not been able to get Julian Contreras going tonight. Came in with 736 yards on the season, coming off a massive day, 250 yards. Really, there is, depending on, I guess, where you look at, what stats you like. Some say over 260, another had 250. Either way, he ran a lot, and he had a lot of success doing it. 2:40 left in the first half, or excuse me, in the 3rd quarter. And in motion. They'll hand it to Contreras, gets to the 2nd level, bumping and falling forward. As you talked about, his ability to fall forward, really close to that first down. It's going to be 3rd and inches.
Yeah, we've just seen Contreras really just kind of pinball around tonight. Again, just fighting for those tough yards.
my mistake. I forgot they had the penalty, so they're just back to the original line of scrimmage, so 3rd and 10. Trips to the left. Movement there for Burleson in the front. Play clock at 5. Now Holmes has got it. He steps up in the pocket. He's going to have to take off, trying to make a couple of guys miss. He's into Elks territory. He does end up picking up about 6 or 7 yards, so it's 4th down and manageable, and maybe the first real decision for Coach DeBess, and the decision's been made. They're going to punt the football.
Not a bad play design right there. You saw these 2 stand-up defensive ends from Burleson. I was kind of wondering before the snap if they were going to drop back into coverage or bring the heat, and sure enough they did. Holmes did a great job of splitting the pocket, just unfortunately a couple yards short there for Grapevine.
So 4th down and 3, Jalen Holmes to punt for the 5th time. A spiraling kick that's going to bounce inside the 20 and be out of bounds at the 14-yard line. So another decent kick from Jalen Holmes, but it has been Burleson who's at least been able to move the ball more consistently tonight. But Burleson's got that 3-0 lead, and Grapevine's, boy, they need not only to keep Burleson from getting in the end zone, it would be great to force a turnover. It's been such a long time since you've seen that explosive play going the other way defensively for Grapevine.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're a defensive coach right now for Grapevine, you're probably telling your guys, let's punch, let's jab, let's rip at the football, and we're going to try to get anything we can right here. We got to go down swinging and go in and make a play on the football to try to get some points here on the other end.
So 66 ticks left in the 3rd quarter. It's Sparks on 1st down. He's not going to get anywhere, and he's met by Stanier again, and those two, they've had a couple of very awkward collisions. And it's been Bradley Stanier who's been lower in the boom.
Yeah, we'll get a number on Bradley Stanier's total tackles tonight. He's just been all over the place, in the backfield, right around the edges. I mean, just anywhere that it comes to number 43, you got to feel really good if you're a Grapevine Mustang fan about when you see number 43 in and around the mix, you know the play's going to be made.
2nd down and 12, a loss of 2. Back to throw is Sparks towards the sideline into double coverage, and the pass incomplete. There on the coverage was Dallas Davis. And boy, I think if you're a Grapevine fan, I think unfortunately maybe the lasting memory from last week is Davis not being able to knock that ball away in the overtime, but he was tested about 5 or 6 times down the field last week, and 5 or 6 times he came up with the play. And so he makes it really another nice play there on 2nd and 12, so now 3rd and long. 2 receivers each side. Sparks back to pass. Blitz coming. Here's the throw. It's towards the middle of the field and a pitch and catch. And the catch is made, I should say, there by Jaden Hernandez, the team's leading receiver. And that's the best throw that we have seen probably from either quarterback so far tonight.
Yeah, good job right there by number 13 to just kind of stay focused. It's scary going over the middle, especially on a 3rd and 12 play where you know the defense is pinning their ears back. And one of those safeties is just, getting up there ready to pop you. But a good job by number 13 to catch and kind of tuck that in. Really good job by Hernandez there.
So Burleson is going to let this clock tick down to 000, and we're going to the 4th quarter. It is Burleson 3 and Grapevine nothing. Final 12 minutes of this one coming up as Grapevine goes for their first win of the season. Mustang Friday night on Tradio. Three nothing. We are going to the 4th quarter. Grapevine and Burleson here. One of these two teams going to get their first win in district play. Grapevine hoping it's their first win overall after dropping a heartbreaker last week. They have, really with the exception of one big play defensively, they've been just about perfect tonight.
Yeah, it'll be huge right here for Grapevine as, you know, you've got 12 minutes left in the ball game. Getting off the field now to give your offense a chance is not just a hopeful thing, it's an imperative thing if you want to get out of here with a W.
And Burleson was just 1 for 8 on third down in the first half. They pick up a big 3rd and 12. So they hand it off on first down here, and the tackle is made by Luke Gormley as he chases the ball carrier towards the sideline, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
Think of your coach Tanner for Burleson right here. You're content with these short yard gains if you can get a big one on 2nd and 3rd down to keep the chains moving. The clock is obviously in your favor in such a low-scoring game, so in no rush at all is going to be the Elks on offense.
Yeah, and even though you're just starting the 4th, with how long some of these drives have taken, you're not sure how many drives Burleson, or rather Grapevine's going to have left. On the screen pass, and now a lot of run after the catch by Landon Smith. He went on the complete opposite side of the field, and he picks up the 1st down. And he's fired up after an extremely athletic play to move the chains.
Have a day, Landon Smith, not listed in the 2-deep pregame, and has come out here and done a really good job on the edge right there. Kind of doing his own thing, but still following his blockers enough to move the chains.
There's the 4 receivers. Far side, now the bad snap. Ball rolling all the way back, and Sparks has got a slide on it around the 28-yard line. Could almost say a break for both teams. It could have been a lot worse. But Grapevine able to see them push back quite a few yards.
Sure, that is huge for Grapevine. It's going to be fun to look up here and see there it is, 2nd and 28. That's exactly what you want if you're Grapevine. Now you can kind of pin your ears back a little bit. Your playbook becomes smaller. Now you don't want to get beat deep, but you have the right personnel that you want in a must-throw situation here for Burleson.
It's not a penalty, but it is a negative play. Burleson 5 penalties for 45 yards here tonight. 2nd down. Sparks pump fakes, now fires over the middle. Pass is caught. There was a lot of contact with Dallas Davis, but it is for Hernandez who makes the catch. And at least makes it 3rd down, and you're in shouting distance.
Yeah, Jaden Hernandez, again, another tough catch over the middle. That's definitely their guy that they're going to go to up the seam. Not afraid of it. Smaller guy in stature, but we've seen 2 back-to-back catches by him where he's just kind of hung in there and taken the blow and still retched it in really well.
3rd and 12 for Burleson. Would be a huge stop for the Mustangs. Sparks fires towards his own sideline, and the pass is in and out of the hands of the receiver on the near side. It is incomplete, and Grapevine gets the stop, so that snap on 1st down changes everything, because really it had been back-to-back possessions where Burleson had been moving the football well.
Absolutely, but again, another great stop right there by the Mustang defense. Again, should have it in good field position where you can put together a drive right here to get yourself on the board and give this defense a rest. They've done their job tonight by keeping the Elks to only 3 points. You'll take that any night of the week.
It has been a sight if you're a fan of the punting game, because we've seen quite a few of them tonight. As this ball fair caught at the 25-yard line by Thomas Powers. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the 25-yard line. And boy, with 9:34 left, I just mentioned it, you're not sure how many more offensive possessions you're going to get. You're getting close to where anything where you're in question, you're probably going to go for it on 4th down.
For sure, and these 1st downs are going to be so crucial coming down the stretch. What you want, ideally, is a gain of 4 or more to keep these chains kind of moving. What you don't want is to be behind the sticks, and again, the worst thing that could happen would be a turnover, right? You don't want to go down, especially, not even 3 more, much less a touchdown more would make it extremely difficult this late in the ball game.
Well, Grapevine with the football. Be a great time to see one of those patented Julian Contreras big bust-out runs. It's 1st and 10. Holmes gets the snap. He'll pitch it in the backfield to Stewart, and he is brought down for a 5-yard loss. As that play is made by Sebastian Munoz on the edge, and it's 2nd and long.
Yeah, good job right there by the senior defensive back, almost a nickel guy, kind of lined up in the outside linebacker position, but he was not fooled right there. Most of the time they teach it on defense to kill the quarterback on an option play, but he was sniffing out of the backfield the whole way right there.
Well, you mentioned not getting behind the change, and that's where the Mustangs are at 2nd and 15 on the right hash. More movement up front by Burleson. They're showing blitz. Let's see how many they bring. They'll bring 6. The pass is knocked away. And one of those, Lawson Blanchard, who came flying in around that left end, knocks the pass back into the face of Jalen Holmes, and it's 3rd and 15.
Yeah, it's an interesting formation. You got 3 true down linemen, and then they kind of walk up those 2 linebackers in a 2-point stance. And you kind of wonder up here, you're like, are they dropping them back or are they sending them? We've seen them send them, I think, 3 straight times on 2nd and longs. And it's going to be a matter of time before they put these guys back in coverage, but it obviously forces a more than likely passing down right here for the Mustangs.
3rd and 15, 8:50 left in the 4th quarter. A little bit of confusion. Holmes now looks over and realizes the play clock was down to 2, and they're going to burn their timeout. So first timeout really of the game. I believe Grapevine actually took all 3 of their timeouts to the locker room in the first half, so they will go to the sideline with 8:50 to go. And yeah, a big play where you mentioned that 4-down territory, not if you're 3rd or 4th and long, but if you can make this to where you get somewhat close, maybe you think about it, but 10 to 15-yard gains have been really hard to come by today for Grapevine.
Yeah, you absolutely think about it, but, smart call right there to take a timeout. 3rd and 15 is a challenge in and of itself, but you can't go 3rd and 20. Then everybody knows what's probably coming next. So, again, here, it'll be interesting to see if Grapevine, calls their best kind of 9-10-yard play just to get something maybe over the middle, or they go for it all to just really move the sticks on this 3rd down here.
Well, the offense trots out. It has been tough sledding against this Burleson defense tonight. 3 points on a 24-yard field goal, the only points that we have seen here tonight. 3rd and 15, Holmes with Contreras to his right. Back to throw. Steps up, ball's tipped again, and caught by Contreras, and he's going to at least get a positive gain out of it, but that potentially could have been an interception for Burleson. Instead, it's a completion to Contreras, no gain on the play, and it is 4th down, and Burleson is going to get the football back.
Well, at least you got to keep it in your hands to at least get a punt off. It could have been a way worse situation. Most of the time, tip balls or pick balls, so Mustangs do a good job of keeping the possession here as we see another Elk defender going down with an injury.
They do officially give it a 2-yard completion to Julian Contreras, as both teams will step aside as an Elk is down, and thankfully he's up pretty quickly, as that was Avis Landrum, who will jog to the sideline. It is a little bit of a humid night. 77 is the temperature right now, or in the mid-80s when we started. Not a cloud in sight.
Just about done with those 80 to 90 degree temperatures in North Texas. Forecast for next Wednesday looks really awesome with a high of 73.
Say it louder, please. I've been staring at that weather app and waiting for it to break. Punt again here for Jalen Holmes, and end-over-end kick that is fumbled, and now the ball's on the turf. A fight for the football. Who's got it? Mustangs say they've got it. No signal. Everybody's up. The officials don't know what to do. They're going to say it's Burleson football.
Yeah, you never really know what's going on in and around that pile. The coaches kind of tell you no matter what point that it's your way, you never know who could come out with it. Didn't see from up here who actually ended up coming out with it, but again, if it's not a clear recovery, it's pretty tough to give it to the punting team. But again here, Grapevine needs to bow up on the defensive end. They've done such a good job all night to just give their offense a chance. And if you're Stanier or Gormley or any of these guys that have just been playing so hard all night long, just keep doing what you're doing, and at the end of the day, that's all you can do.
At some point, you need the defense to get a takeaway. This would be a perfect time for it. First down, they go to Sparks on the keeper. Had a little bit of a hole. Thought he was going to pick up a sizable chunk, but instead, he is brought down after a short gain of about 3 or 4. It'll be second down here at the 48-yard line for Burleson.
Good tackle right there by defensive back number 6, Luke Hecht, getting in on the mix. Good near foot, near shoulder. Good quarterback wrap right there. Make him feel it a little bit. If you're going to get him on the ground, that's exactly how they teach it. That's a good job right there by the junior.
Hecht had a few more snaps last week with the injury to Luke Gormley. Second down, they hand it off to Jackson, who's been bottled up for most of the night. He's going to pick up 4, maybe 5 yards. Short of the first down, I think. But no, they're going to move the chains. Boy, they gave him an extremely generous spot. That's a first down.
Clock is not moving for at least, there we go, for about the last 12 seconds. A little break right there for the Mustangs. When that ball was snapped, our game clock was not moving at all. So
that's normally a home operator, a home clock operator that's helping you, not the road team. So
right.
I'll take that. So here we go. 1st and 10. The 42-yard line. 2 in the backfield for Sparks. He'll hand it off around the edge, and nothing doing. That was Cooper Towery on the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, kind of a gang of Mustangs right there, too. Doing a really good job of just setting that edge and just gang tackling. I mean, we've spoke about the defense all night long, but they really are doing a really good job of shedding the blocks, getting to the ball carrier, and really wrapping up on the tackling. It was a key to the game for Grapevine, and so far the defense has held up their end of the bargain.
Well, here's that familiar formation. We've seen a couple of screens out of this. Sparks, there's another one. It's Landon Smith who tries to make one man miss. He sort of did, but then a gang of tacklers, and it is Carlos McKay who finishes the job pushing Smith out of bounds and bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, quads left right there. You probably know a screen's coming, but it's harder to defend. You don't want to overload to that side because then you have no safety help over the top if they do want to go down here, I guess now, as they kind of motion the other way. It's a tough formation to defend, especially if it's blocked correctly.
3rd and 5, no backs, another screen, and immediately there is the defense, but they can't wrap up, and an outstanding run after catch by Landon Smith to pick up the 1st down. Boy, what an effort there by number 80.
Yeah, have a day. We've said it a couple times. Not in the too deep from the stats that we got, but has made his impact known tonight. Just a ferocious receiver who's not afraid of contact. He's going to follow his blocks, and he's going to make a play on the football, and that's a really good job right there.
Yeah, it has been obvious. They're making a concerted effort to get the ball into Smith's hands. So a big 3rd down conversion there, and clock is becoming more and more of a factor. There's the snap, quarterback draw. Smith dancing around is going to pick up a sizable gain on 1st down. The clock's not running again. It's just sitting at 6:11 right now.
I am counting 23 seconds as we move to, there we go. But again, I had 24 seconds in my head clock that did not come off the scoreboard. So again, another break for the Mustangs trying to hang on to this game to get their offense at least one more drive back on the field to tie this thing up or take the lead.
It almost looks like our clock is correct on the broadcast, but it's wrong in the stadium. Jackson on the screen. He's going to be close to a 1st down at the 20-yard line, and they're going to push that pile forward, and they will get the 1st.
So I'm watching intently here. You got a stop clock on the 1st down. I get it. But that thing should start as soon as it's set. So that's something to have our eye on. There we go as we roll it correctly this time. But again, you're in do or die territory now if you're a Mustang defender. You got to get off the field here, at least limit them to 3 at the most.
So 1st and 10. A methodical drive right now for the Elks. Sparks to pass, throws it deep. He's got a man, and it is caught for a touchdown. Jaden Hernandez makes a spectacular catch, and Burleson's got a 2-score lead.
It's a good throw, good catch right there. Saw the one-on-one coverage, and you know, what can you say about these Elk receivers? Really tonight doing a good job as a flag is thrown, in my opinion, what's going to be for excessive celebration. We'll see if it's enforced on the PAT or the kickoff. But again, a great throw and catch right there, and executed play when you needed it.
Oh, it was solid coverage, too, there in the secondary. I believe that was Dallas Davis that was there again, and boy, you just hate that for him because he was right there, just a tremendous play.
Yeah, again, like you said, coverage was there. Great throw to the back corner of the end zone. And again, Hernandez and Smith, really the offensive co-MVPs of the game, have carried this Elk offense. When their number's been called, they've answered the bell. And by far making the biggest plays tonight of this ball game.
So Burleson has a 9-0 lead after that throw and catch. And the extra points ended up going right up the gut, going for 2 there. And don't get it. So 9-0 is the score. It's a 2-score lead for Burleson with only 5 minutes and 19 seconds left. This is Mustang Friday Night on Tradio.
Clock is ticking. It's last call on 24s at Classic Chevrolet. As the #1 dealer in the world, a huge selection of 24s remain with model year-end savings, like new Silverados, 14 grand off MSRP. Or 0% APR is back. Time is running out to get model year-end savings before they're sold. New Silverados, 14 grand off.
24 floor models to make room for our new 2025
back-breaking
collection.
touchdown
Out with the old and in with the new
there.
during Stacy's 2024 floor model sale.
Shop casual dining sets perfect for everyday family meals or formal dining rooms guaranteed to level up your holiday celebrations.
This is your chance to take home name brand furniture at unbeatable prices. Hurry in today. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Shop the 2024 floor model sale going on now. And remember, you're shopping at Stacy's,
You're shopping with family and you're not burning money.
Well, back in Burleson, is just talking about that back-breaking touchdown to go up 2 scores. And the margin of error was already small for Grapevine. It is 0 now as they need a score, they need the ball back, and they need to score again.
Yeah, again, good coverage right there by Dallas Davis, the senior defender, who, again, was in the right spot at the right time, just a playmaker making a play. And sometimes you just do have to tip your cap. The coverage was there. The ball and the catch was just a little bit better. And, again, just a big-time throw and a big-time catch by Jaden Hernandez. And, again, want to shout out number 80 again. We've called his name a ton tonight, Landon Smith, a kid that wasn't even listed on the 2-deep tonight, really making his presence known with, plays all over the field in the screen game, in the blocking game, on the perimeter. Just a really good night by the junior receiver.
It's been a great effort defensively for Grapevine. Really, back-to-back weeks. They've answered the bell after getting blown out by Arlington Seguin. Played really well last week. Ended up giving up 25, but it took overtime to do that. They've only given up 9 points here, and we knew that was potentially the strength of the team coming into the season, and they have played well enough. But Burleson has a 9-0 lead with just 5:17 left. And this kick is going to carry Davis out of bounds. He was trying to make the catch and then get it upfield, but he is out of bounds. And they're fired up for that kick, too.
For sure, absolutely. Thing about that is, you want a pooch kick that kind of takes the returner's momentum into the sideline, and you could see Coach Tanner was fired up right there. You don't want any cheap, as you would call it, plays in the special teams unit to get them on the board. So, yeah, I think they have every right to be fired up about that one. That was a good kick, good coverage, and put your defense in a spot to get you out with a W.
5:16 left here in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter tonight, and always brought to you by Bottle Cap Alley Ice House Grill and Grapevine. Holmes to start the drive here. They need points, and they need them quickly. Back to pass on first down. Quick wide receiver out. A diving attempt made there by Ian Hatton, but it's off his fingertips. Incomplete, 2nd and 10. Hatton's been his favorite receiver, I believe, tonight.
Again, good pocket right there. Way to step up by Holmes, just a little bit out of line off the receiver's hands. But again, now you need positive yardage, and time is obviously not on your side.
In the huddle here, they got 20 on the play clock. Just have not mustered much of anything offensively. Just a handful of first downs, no sustained drive offensively tonight. Holmes looking for a little magic here. Play clock at 2. Holmes on the screen out to Contreras. He has some space. Cuts back inside and is going to get to the 29-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and short, maybe 3 or 4 yards for the Mustangs.
You got to go now because you obviously need points, and if you do get points, you want to leave your defense enough time to take a stop. And the Elks doing Grapevine a little bit of a favor here with just, hey, stop, drop, and roll type of injury. Hopefully, we think it's nothing serious. But again, as a defender, it's kind of signaled by a member of the coaching staff to go down. Grapevine will take that 100% of the time, almost essentially a free timeout to get something drawn up for this 3rd and short.
Man down. Talk about the head coach, Philip Tanner. Haven't had as much time to talk about him as we thought, but was the offensive coordinator for John Kitna when Kitna was the head coach here for a couple of years. And then he was the head coach at Fort Worth Southwest. They were 5A when he was there. They've since dropped down to 4A. Before coming the head coach here. And in fact, it was Jason Garrett, who was his coach for 3 years, who gave a quote to Burleson just about the hiring of Philip Tanner, and he said that his energy is contagious. And he's a guy that is animated on the sideline, and you would think that players absolutely love playing for him. I want to ask you a question. Jason Garrett was his coach. You're a Cowboy fan. What do you think the record was in all 3 years that he played from 2011 to 2013?
Man, those are the Romo years for sure.
It's Jason Garrett, so that's a huge giveaway.
Right. I would guess 8-8, 8-8, 8-8.
You are absolutely correct. 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. Now, to make matters worse for Philip Tanner, he did have a cup of coffee with San Francisco that last year in the league. He played 2 games. What was their record? 8-8. So he had been an even 500 player as a member of either the Cowboys or the 49ers. And this injury's lasted a little longer than maybe we initially thought, as now the player is up. That's Davis Landrum again. That's the 2nd time that he has gone down. And he is walking off the field. And now Grapevine will have a 3rd and 4 from the 29-yard line. And you would think it's 4-down territory no matter what. Perhaps an onside kick if you do score. You got 2 timeouts left. You don't want to use those until you absolutely have to. So 3rd down and 4. Now that clock will start to run again. Need to pick this one up. Contreras in motion. Holmes will get it to him. Contreras trying to get upfield. He has got to get to the 34, and he's not going to even get to the 30. He is pushed out of bounds. It is 4th and 7 or 8 at this point now.
And this is, pretty much do or die. You do have your timeouts in the bag. You got 2 of them if you're the Grapevine Mustangs, and I think someone might elect to take one right here. Didn't see who it was. And that is Grapevine's 2nd timeout, so down to 1 now with about 4 minutes and some change to spare with a big 4th down upcoming.
Yeah, not quite as far. I thought it was going to be about 4th and 7. It's 4th and 5 from your own 28-yard line. And yeah, you want to get this right, but you do end up using a timeout that probably would have been pretty helpful down the road. But as you mentioned, first things first, you've got to get the 1st down here.
Sure, and you foreshadow ahead a little bit. You get this 1st down. Let's say you go down and ultimately score. You got 1 timeout left. You're essentially banking on an onside kick with maybe 3 straight stops at the most. But essentially, like you said, first thing is our first year. You need your best 5-yard play to keep these sticks moving, or it's going to be tough sledding getting out of here with a W tonight for the Mustangs.
And even if you pick up the 1st down, at some point you're going to have that splash play. And they're trying to get the ball. In fact, a couple of times on this possession, I thought they got the ball to Contreras in space, but he just couldn't really get it up the field. The Burleson defense closed really well. So 4th and 5 out of the timeout. Contreras in the backfield with Holmes. This is a big play here to keep the hopes alive for the Mustangs. Play clock at 14. Here's the snap. Holmes in some trouble. Steps up. He might have a chance to run for it. Trying to pick up a block from Contreras, and he can't get around. What a tackle made there in the open field by Zevran Garza to force a turnover on downs.
You saw some green daylight there, right there from Holmes. I think he might have thought he could get more around the edge right there, but the play was drawn up correctly again, but more credit to the Elks right there for getting the big 4th down stop when they needed it.
Coach DeBest talked a lot about blocking on the perimeter, and generally that is with your wide receivers. Right there it was Contreras who was trying to lay that one block that they needed to get Jalen Holmes those 5 yards. Instead, it's Burleson football in Mustangs territory, and they can run the ball, force Grapevine to use that final timeout. It's Jackson on first down. He'll fight forward for a few yards, and now he'll push forward for even more. That looked like it was going to be a 3-yard gain. Instead, it's a 6-yard gain. He gets to the 25-yard line.
And you're going to see the Elks not be in any hurry here. If you're Coach Tanner, you're telling Mr. Sparks here to snap the ball with maybe 3 seconds at the most left on the play clock. You don't want to take a delay of game either, but you're going to use every single second to kneel this thing down.
They still have 20 seconds on the play clock. As time does continue to tick here, Burleson looking for that second win, and this would be a tough one for Grapevine. They're off next week. They've got the bye. They have 2 weeks to think about this loss. There is a flag, and looks like some early movement there by the Burleson front line.
And Grapevine will take that again. Not only are you moving back yards-wise, but the clock does stop.
I believe that was Albert Castro who gets called for the false start. So it pushes it back to the 30-yard line. So it's 2nd and 9 here with under 3:20 left in this fourth quarter. And Grapevine off next week. And then they'll host the Colony back in action on October 19th. 3-minute mark now. Snap back. It's Sparks who goes up the middle, and this time it's Cedric Hicks who grabs him and throws him down, and now we've got that extra stuff at the end as Cooper Towery was right in the grill of one of those Burleson Elks.
We're going to see who they throw it on. Most of the time it is the guy that retaliates. I think that might be why Towery is a little frustrated. There was a little extracurricular from Burleson on the play right there. Be unfortunate if he's the one that gets called for the mischief.
Take another look at it here. What happens after?
It's going to be a blindside block on Burleson.
All right, so nothing for the scuffle after. So ends up being a big break here for Grapevine. It pushes them all the way back to the 45-yard line. So 2nd and 24 from the 45. And the clock stopped as well.
I still think if you're Burleson, you're still running the football here. You got to dwindle this thing down. Even if you do end up punting on 4th down, you don't want to give Grapevine more than about a minute and a half max, maybe a minute after these 2 40-second plays go off.
Yeah, time is more important than yardage at this point if you're Burleson. Under 5 on the play clock. They will hand it off to Davis, who will get to the 44-yard line before he is stopped. And Burleson is going to have a 3rd and long and a timeout called by Grapevine, their final timeout. They cannot stop it again here with 2:20 left in this ball game. And you can see that's a veteran group walking off the field. Tatum Evans, Cedric Hicks, although just a sophomore. Cooper Towery, the junior. It's a defense that has fought and has clawed. And if you didn't see it last week, you can see how much this means to these players. And right now you're 0-5. You're staring 0-6 in the face. And it's the Tippers can get a little bit up there. And these defensive players are still trying to make a play and not giving up on this one yet.
Yeah, it's a testament to the coaches for sure. You're 0-5, like you said. You're soon to be 0-6, and the last thing you want to do is quit and give up, and that's something that we haven't seen from Grapevine. I mean, every week these kids are absolutely laying it all out there, and again, which is something in today's societies would be really easy to do, to just lay it down and let this season, go all but lost. And that's something that these Mustangs, especially these young guys, really have just fought so hard. Been really impressed tonight by number 45, Mr. Hicks, with the blocked field goal, and again, he's been party in the backfield essentially all night long, so a bright future ahead for that young man.
3rd and a mile here 2:20 left in this one. They will hand it off, and it will be a short gain as Jackson is brought down, and now a late flag. Boy, if that is a late hit or something on Grapevine, that's the final nail in the coffin of this one.
Didn't see it to the naked eye. It doesn't look like. Yep, going to be a face mask.
So, yeah, you were about to get the ball back. Instead, it's a face mask, and that just about wraps it up.
I think they got number 11, Tatum Evans, right there for the call, and essentially not what you want right there, like you said, as the refs blow this one dead. Not sure. Might be a spot issue. With around 2 minutes and some change left, I think it's going to be an official's timeout.
So Burleson looks to be on their way to the victory tonight. Get you caught up on a couple of other scores around the district. Really one huge blowout. Argyle all over Everman tonight, 63-7. They're in the fourth quarter. And then Mansfield Summit on top of the Colony, who Grapevine will see in 2 weeks. Summit on top, 30-14. They play that in the third quarter.
An Argyle program that we've seen year in and year out always be in the mix late in November. A team that consistently practices on Thanksgiving. Just a great program up there north of Denton, and has put out a ton of D1 guys over the years. Ian Sadler of Texas Tech had a nice career with the likes of Patrick Mahomes. Remember his name all over Boone Pickens Stadium during my time at Oklahoma State. That was a deadly duo up there in Lubbock.
You probably don't love Mahomes as much as everybody else does around the country.
Absolutely not.
Well, they will take a knee here, and it'll all be window dressing the rest of the way. As Grapevine's going to fall to 0-6. They had gone 0-5 for the first time since 2014. That year, that team finished 3-8. But Grapevine's going to drop to 0-6 for Burleson. They take on the Colony on the road next week, for they are back at home in 2 weeks, as they will take on Mansfield Timberview. So Mustangs are going to fall to 0-6. It'll be a 2-3 record here for Burleson. Now, you really can't say enough about how well this defense played, and you just hate that as good as they played, you didn't get hardly anything offensively, and it was just kind of one of those days. You give a lot of credit to that Burleson defense, but this Grapevine defense really played their tails off.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, absolutely. Anytime you can, lay your head on the pillow at night and say, hey, our unit gave up a touchdown and a field goal, you would feel good about that 7 days out of the week. And again, a testament to these coaches and these kids for not letting the season go to wash at all. This game could have gone one of two ways, and the Mustangs were in it right up until the very end.
Back-to-back weeks where it comes down to the wire. And really, that last touchdown pass, that incredible catch by Jaden Hernandez, that ends up probably really being the play of the game, and the one that broke the back here of the Mustangs. They let it go all the way down to 0.
I think they did take a delay of game to make sure maybe 1 second rolls off the clock, as they'll take a knee here on this 3rd down and 19, and might have 3 seconds to spare depending on how quickly Mr. Sparks goes down.
Yeah, I think Sparks might just try to run around for maybe 3 seconds before he takes that knee, and then commits with the handshakes. And for Andrew Sparks, not the numbers not spectacular tonight, but I thought he looked poised, threw a good ball. He's just a sophomore, and with his field presence, it feels like he's a guy that's got a chance to be something special down the road.
Yeah, he's got it in control for sure. He's got a little moxie back there. You can tell he's a gunslinger and likes to spread it around a little bit, and I think Coach Tanner really likes probably where he's at with the sophomore quarterback. Again, it's a hard gig, especially as a 16-year-old, but the young man is composed and takes care of the football for the most part, and again, can add this win to his belt tonight. And Coach Tanner probably knows this. Playing in the NFL, you never apologize for a W. No matter how ugly it is, you're going to take them any way you can get them.
Not sure what the confusion is here. You just go back 5 yards and snap the football. We have it would have been a 10-second runoff. And Grapevine declines that. And so we'll get at least one more snap here. And then another whistle. We were making great time.
We were.
At a 47-minute first half? 43 seconds.
There
so
we go.
They tried to run it off and put it at 39, but they put it back to 43 seconds. And
those pesky 4 seconds.
And now it'll be Sparks probably just letting that thing get under 40 before he takes a knee.
These officials are graded. They don't want to cut any corners. There's somebody lurking from TASO somewhere in this crowd tonight.
So Sparks goes back. He'll take a knee, and there's going to be no difference between the game clock and the play clock. In fact, there is a 2-second difference in favor of the game clock, and so that will be the final snap of the ball game. A few words there maybe at the end between these two clubs. They're at least lining up like they're going to pretend to snap it. I think Bradley Stanier was looking up saying, hey, you don't have to. The game's over. And now we're blowing the whistle again.
Ooh, 15 seconds left. Andrew Sparks wants to start doing backflips back there as the quarterback, but the Stripes will get together and they'll talk about it. Again, it was clear as day to us. There was a 2-second difference between clock and game. If I'm Coach Tanner, I probably would have even started escorting my players across that 50.
And so they put it to 41 seconds now for some reason.
And there's that 25 seconds that went missing in the third quarter. They heard me and they added it back.
Well, they put 41 seconds on the clock somehow. I wish I could tell you how it happened, but I don't know.
You get seconds. You get seconds.
All I know is I have been staring at a victory formation for about 45 minutes, and we're going to get another whistle. And now a timeout is called. All right. What do you want to talk about?
I got nothing for you. You know, we've done everything as far as, you know, discussing offensive linemen's Whataburger orders for after the game.
Oh, that sounds great.
The Blaze Jalapeno Cream Cheeseburger back at Whataburger, actually making its debut. No free shout-outs.
Big Whataburger over here. You getting paid?
No, I'm not, but I see it looming in the distance over there to our east.
You've been staring at it all night.
I think so.
Burleson. It's 4th and 38 right now. There's 41 seconds left. There had been about 20 seconds left at one point in the game.
And we will probably see
a punt.
I was going to say a punt formation right here.
Well, here you go. The recipe is this. You take it back. You get the onside kick. You kick the field goal. And it's the improbable win. Most of these fans who have left would have to read about it in the paper tomorrow. Like, what happened? Snaps low. It might be blocked. It nearly was. Oh, boy. Just got rid of it, and they're going to get a running into the kicker penalty. And now a second flag as the white hat goes flying in the air. This game just will not end.
And, you know, I've played a lot of football. I've coached a lot of football. I've watched a lot of football. I don't know if I have seen an ending like this. I mean, the Grapevine coaching staff in the box to our left is really kind of beside themselves. They don't know whether to go up or go down. And I don't blame them. Just an ugly finish so far. And it's not really anything that either of these teams have done. It seems like this – I don't know if it's the alignment of the stars, Brendan. I don't know. Your guess is probably as good as mine.
Well, no, and you're walking the line, and I appreciate that. But, yeah, it's just kind of gotten a little bit ridiculous here is we've been sitting here for at least 5 minutes trying to play the last 30 seconds of this game that's been decided. We got a personal foul on Grapevine. Got offsetting personal foul penalties.
And I think at this point both head coaches just want to shake hands and get on out of here.
So Well, see, I thought those both happened after the fact, that it would be Grapevine's ball, but no, it'll be Burleson's ball still. So it ends up working out in the favor of the Elks as they'll punt again. They'll take some more time off the clock.
I was going to say, we got the yardage markers saying first down and 10, which if that's the case, you're going to see another victory formation and hopefully an uneventful knee, and that'll be the last play of the ballgame.
Boy, I'm extremely confused. If it's offsetting personal fouls, it should just... Well, if you're still listening, you love the Grapevine Mustangs. As there is officially the final play. Let's hope there's nothing extra after the ball game, and finally both these teams are going to concede. As the final 20 seconds will tick off of this one. Oh yeah, a really strong night for this Mustang defense. They played good enough to win. Outstanding job. They give up the field goal in the second half, and then a touchdown pass of 19 yards, a great catch from Jaden Hernandez that ends up really putting this one out of reach. So the final score, it is official, as Burleson on top of Grapevine for a final score of 9-0. So that will do it for us here from Burleson ISD Stadium. Don't forget, Grapevine returns to action in 2 weeks. The Mustangs will host the Colony on October 19th. That is after the bye week next week. We'll be on the air at 6:30. Kickoff is set for 7 o'clock. So until then, for my broadcast partner, Austin Taylor, our statistician, Mason Mears, our entire broadcast crew, I'm Brendan Smith saying so long from Burleson ISD Stadium. This has been a presentation of Mustang Friday Night on Tradio.